Welcome, hello, everybody, to another wonderful day at the agency. I'm your magnanimous host, Agent Q, and with me today, the digital menace, Pixel.
I love that everyone calls me a menace. Like, you do it, Kigu does it, everyone does it.
Yeah, it fits a little too well with you, but we're back with more Power Wash Simulator
Yeah,
because we want to finish this before Kigu gets back.
Okay, so I was actually talking with him yesterday. Like he responds, like, you could join the game as well. He responds a little bit here and there because since he's still on vacation. But essentially, I mentioned to him that, like, there's a, like, when I saw how much, like, how little progress we technically made yesterday, I said to him, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get this done before you get back. And he's like, well, then I'll just join you guys. But as you know, the main campaign is only
Two-player.
two players. But I looked at it, all, like, the interesting bonus ones that come after this, as well as all the DLC, is 6 players. So we can just make him play those with us.
That works out good. I did want to do a couple of those still, honestly.
Oh yeah, I do too. Like the DLCs and all the other ones. Like, I mean, one of them's a freaking moon rover on Mars, or like a Mars rover. That just looks interesting.
Yep.
Game, for whatever it's worth, this game has some really interesting scenarios for all the different like, things to clean. You know.
Yep. Like, I don't know if this was, cause I know this is published by Square. I don't know if it's like one of their bigger teams that just kind of fucked off and did it for a bit. But this feels like what the AA industry has been hitting so often lately. It's like these weird games that, like, are kind of niche, but kind of not, but have enough love and polish in them and a budget that, like, oh shit, this is really good.
See, I don't know if this. I was under the impression that this was like an indie game that Square picked up and published.
Like, it could be that, and that's very much right. I feel like it.
Well, it's also the concept that like, sometimes, like, devs at companies will work on their own games, like, in their free time, and then bring it to the manager. Like, have you heard of the game damn it, what's the game called? Wild Guns on the Super Nintendo?
I think so, actually. I think I had a couple chances to buy that damn thing, actually.
Oh, and you didn't, because that became super rare and expensive.
Yeah, I've only started collecting, like, pretty well, like, the last decade. And I saw it, like, only a couple years back, if I remember right. So it was like, oh, that's a pretty price tag. What the fuck is this game?
It's actually free on Switch Online. It's actually better on Switch Online because it actually works better with a standard controller, or with a joystick, than it does with a Super Nintendo controller, in my opinion. It feels like it was designed for it. But regardless, like, that was a game that the devs really loved. And, like, I don't remember who, like, that notched me. And apparently, like, a few years ago during the PS4 era, some of the devs just started working on a sequel on their own time, like during lunch breaks and stuff like that. And they brought it to their boss and was like, hey, we made a sequel, and it's like a 4-player co-op version on Steam.
Oh shit. What type of game is that? I'm guessing it's like a Contra-style shooter?
No. So, I'm not really sure what the genre is considered that it's in. So, it's where your character is is in front of you, right?
Yeah.
But so you control both your character with one thing, and you control the reticule of the gun with the other. So you're kind of like, so it's kind of like a light gun style shooter, but you control your character at the same time. So you use it to dodge enemy fire and bullets and stuff with your character.
It's like Star Fox.
Sort of. But you don't get to move forward or move around. It's essentially, you're stuck on one screen, and enemies keep coming, and you essentially like, you're on, I mean, they take you different levels, but you're on one screen, and you can, like, basically jump around that screen while you're aiming and shooting. You're also cowboys fighting against robots.
Yeah.
Giant robots.
Funny, I would almost say it's It might be part of the defense game genre.
I don't know. It's more. I think it's called a stationary gallery shooter. There are not a lot of them ever made.
No, it's
They're like few on the NES. I think there's like 2 on Wii. Like, it's definitely a unique title. Like, I've never played another game like it.
yeah, maybe that's the style of game we should try out making.
It wouldn't be too difficult.
I know that's kind of what I was thinking. It's I still need to dig up a program and decide what we want to start working on to start doing coding on that.
I did a little character design while I had some downtime the other day.
Because theming is also something we need to talk about.
Yeah. When I was thinking about all the things you had said, my brain just like I noticed it did because I stuff I had watched earlier, but my brain just kept thinking like Mega Man-esque stuff. Like as far as like
That's kind of where I was at too, honestly. And not just because I brought up like the Mega Man Legends blocky like art stylish too, but
well, when I was picturing the different things that you guys were mentioning, my brain just I just automatically inserted Mega Man into the imagery.
yeah. I'll fault you for that one.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like there's an actual first-person Mega Man game.
Ah!
What, is there?
Almost. Oh, fucking most. It was in alpha. Oh my God! You know which team was making it too?
Retroware?
What have
No, I
they
don't
done?
know. I might be thinking of someone. I think I had a team that did Metroid.
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah. Those guys.
Wow, I guessed that point of like, oh dang.
Yeah, no, it's like I was like, wait, did you actually get that? It's like, because I didn't remember what the studio name. I was just gonna say the guys who did Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Retroware.
Yeah. Now on Metroid Prime again, ironically, because the studio that was working on it sucked. But yeah, they had like concepts, like they had gameplay up almost, like they were testing that out. It looked cool as fuck.
I mean, it always sucks, but stuff like that does happen. Like, do you know that there was originally a Halo game being made for the DS?
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that.
I've seen the footage for it. It's like, I think they thought the DS was gonna flop, and like Microsoft didn't want Sony to keep getting more powerful with the PSP, and then when it turned out that the DS was kicking the crap out of the PSP, they're like, you know what, never mind, you guys don't need Halo.
Yeah.
So they pulled it. It's like, that's a shame. Like, guys, you could just made the money.
Well, weirdly enough, Microsoft and Nintendo are getting a lot buddier lately. It feels like.
Well, I know that's true, but I'm also disappointed with them. It's like, I wanted Master Chief as a character in freaking Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong. When they said when the last character turned out to be Sora, I was there for it because Sora was always on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Master, like, I feel like when it comes, like, for what it's worth, I do feel like Banjo makes more sense in a Smash Brothers setting.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where they didn't have any first-person shooter. That game doesn't have any FPS representation.
Yeah.
Other than like the little like Doom guy that you can get for like his costume. And while Doom guy does make sense, but I mean it's like one of those things where if you can let Snake obviously makes sense, but if you can let Bayonetta in, then you know.
Well,
Like
Nintendo owns Bayonetta.
I know they do, but still like. But
Which is never
still, like,
not going to be weird.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But she has so much character to her that I totally get. Like, she definitely can still feel like a Nintendo-esque character, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing Nintendo does really well, it's have characters, you know what I mean?
With, like, yeah, this character has had canonically 5 lines of dialogue throughout their entire career. people still love the shit out of them.
Yeah, where like I don't know, a lot of other big I think it's one of the problems a lot of third-party companies have is that they don't make their characters stand out, and I don't know if it's like because they're trying to make it like more realistic or what, but
Oh,
I
the
don't know.
problem is now is the market's so flooded. Nintendo could get away with a little bit more because of how empty the market was for so long. They got to
Yeah.
establish their characters.
The characters that I mean, well, even like characters that don't necessarily have as much like characters. Like I never played Splatoon, but the amiibos have really fun designs. Or not the amiibos, the Inklings have really fun designs.
Yep. Although Nintendo needs to be more careful with the designs they put out every so often.
Why is that?
Well, look at, like, Nintendo just randomly does one little thing, and all of a sudden the internet goes wild with it.
That's because they're popular. Like that's not really Nintendo's fault. I mean, you make the same argument for Sonic.
Yeah.
When you have a big enough fan base, that just happens. Like, yeah, some forethought into their designs is always appreciated, but you know, sometimes there's nothing you can do about that stuff. People are gonna find a way to break it.
Yep. As much as Nintendo tries to stop it.
Let people have their fun. It just makes their characters stay around longer and are more memorable. If anything,
Yep.
it's probably for the best.
Yep. Oh. Although, speaking of, that reminds me of people trying to stop stuff. Did you hear they're trying to pass a bill in Florida to stop anyone under the age of 14 from having a social media account?
They already did that.
Oh, that actually went through?
Oh yeah, Santa's passed that. My general thought is, how are they going to enforce that?
Yeah, it's like how the fuck do you, like, the companies aren't tracking that shit.
Well, actually, so one of the things on there is that if your kid has it, you can sue the company for them letting the kid on there. That's what the bill lets them do.
That's never going to hold up in court.
Yeah, because it's like, there's a point on there where it's like, well, how come you weren't watching what your kid was doing? I knew this one person, like...
Well, here's the thing. It's like, to make them, they'd have to violate the terms of service that those you have to sign when you get on one of those sites. Like, you know, the yes, just accept. Yeah, it's like part of the terms of service. So it's like, no, you're never going to win that case. It's...
Yeah.
Well, because one of the things I was hearing them try to pitch is like, they want a registration of all accounts.
See, I've always been kind of like on the fence about that. I feel like I've always thought like having someone put your license on there, like, because then people could like steal your license and that information wouldn't be safe. But maybe if they made like a secondary license, an internet license, you know what I mean? Something that doesn't have a lot of personal data, but something that's like, hey, this is who I am. This proves my age. You know?
We are getting a little too dystopic.
Well. So my general thought on it was like, I'm under the. I feel like, so the way I see since I get to see kids a lot, I was thinking like maybe instead of banning kids from social media, we should just make it like if we had that type of age like thing where we could actually control it, it'd be let's make it so that they like they can't post on social media. They can read and understand and keep up with the world through it, you know, see memes, stuff like that. But anyone under the age 18 really shouldn't be getting internet popular because they clearly can't handle it as, like, I think at least 60 to 70% of them, like the ones, so we've seen some like successful ones, but I feel like the ones that fail end up kind of burning for their failure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're getting to the point where a job will look you up on the internet and it's like, that's becoming a criminal record.
It's not even that, it's just that, like you see all those ones. I assume they think just being asshole practical jokers, like they're becoming a problem, and it's like
because those channels really do get views, which is kind of shitty.
I know. Yeah, but like so like at the very least, we shouldn't be letting anyone under the age of 18 get clout. essentially. Like, it's like, sorry, you aren't old enough to handle it. Realistically, a lot of the ones who are over 18 still aren't. But, you know, they're adults at that point. Just let them have what they have.
Let them make their
I feel
mistakes and suffer from it. They're
oh, they're not really suffering from it either. But, like, I felt like in Europe, the judges wasn't really doing anything.
well,
Just, like, letting them off the hook for
it gets onto a whole generation doesn't really understand what internet is still. Like, people barely under 40, it's like you have an understanding of what it is, kind of. Like,
but
over that, it's like...
I get that, but in Europe, they had this one guy who was essentially breaking into people's house, just walking into people's houses, which is breaking and entering just to scare them. It's like, you don't need to know internet clout to know that is illegal. Why are you not, like, punishing this person for it by the full extent of the law?
He had money at that point.
I don't think he had that much money. He wasn't that big a streamer.
Oh.
Like, he shouldn't have had I'm pretty confident he did not have get out of jail money.
He definitely had
But also,
something, I guess. Or
no,
not a lot.
they're just more lenient. They're more lenient in Europe than they are here.
I mean, it depends on the country, but...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was Europe.
Like,
but they had the thing where, like,
Europe's a continent, not a country.
Okay, Britain.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I mean, there was like this one group of these kids who were just causing problems, I guess, at like a McDonald's or something, and they know because they're underage, they're not gonna like really get held to the law.
Yep.
And they're going in and they're doing it for clout. Like, look, people will be assholes to be assholes, but usually the clout is a big cloud has become a big driving factor.
God, that scared me. I just heard a rustling and saw that coming at me. It was like, what the fuck?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's just like natural video game instincts kicked in of like, oh shit, loud noise, something moving towards me. Dodge, dodge, dodge.
Understandable. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't think that little bill of his is gonna do anything.
It's probably going to scare a bunch of internet companies into doing something stupid again, because that's, you know, the fall of Tumblr you can blame on, Tumblr you can blame on Trump overall, because in that weird bill he passed to stop prostitution, which,
okay, I'm not really sure how those two things were connected.
It became a legal thing. If you're found paying for something, you could be charged for it, is how he worded the bill, or advertising for it. So Tumblr was like, oh, so anything pornographic could be constructed as prostitution. Well, get that off us.
Didn't hurt Twitter at all.
Well, okay, Tumblr was a lot dirtier than Twitter is.
I never really used Tumblr, so I don't really know.
No, there's no reason to now, but it was... Yeah, it's like... You wanted to get lewd pictures of stuff, you went to Tumblr for a while there. It's where all the not safe for work artists lived for a minute.
I mean, I had heard that, but I didn't actually, like, really know. I think the only time I ever think I was on there was, like, I was looking for something, like, I was doing something Samurai Jack related, and I ended up getting pushed over to it, so I was like, I'm not finding what I'm looking for here.
Yep, it was for a very specific audiences. But, no, it's like that bill killed that, and... Although I know there's also a big push on Gummy Road right now to get, like, all the lewd stuff off that. I'm not really sure why.
Road?
What?
Gumroad?
Yeah.
So, I know that a bunch of, like, 3D artists and tutorial makers post a lot of their stuff on Gumroad. I was always under the impression that it was a, kind of a software tutorial style site.
No,
I know
it's...
that you get a lot of free AI, you get a lot of, like, AI stuff on there and whatnot.
It's kind of just a web app site, or web program site. But you also get, like, a lot, besides 3D modeling, you also have, like, a lot of other lewd guys and stuff like that on there. because that's like, oh hey, I'm good enough. I want to make a job out of all that stuff, and it was here buy these packets off of Gumroad or support me on Patreon.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm a degenerate.
Wayne, degenerate or not, I never knew that in general because of the way I had been on there. It's like I've always been on there, and it's always been like, oh, well, come on to what's it called, like tutorial sites and stuff. So it was like, because I bought stuff on Gumroad before.
Yep.
Like someone has this guy posted a really good
Oh yeah, I do 3D printing. Like I get a lot of like my not Warhammer and BattleTech minis off there.
Oh, okay. So I've gotten one. I like Blender's 3D sculpting, but I hate how their interface works because maybe it's just because I learned with ZBrush. But I can't. It's such a problem for me. So the guy made it so a thing so that the interfacing movement is like that on ZBrush, and I'm like, oh, this is so fantastic.
Just learned a new system already.
It's not about learning a new system. It's the same system. It's just, in this case, it's to move that. Like it's how the pen moves. Because it like in ZBrush you would move it in a you would move the thing and it would like essentially, and you use the side of the screen to move things. On Blender, you have to use the button on your pen. But I naturally spin my pen when I'm moving it, so the button is essentially moving on me. And it's just kind of counterintuitive to how I physically move my hand. So I just paid the guy $15, and I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll just buy this thing, because it just turns it into how the movement works on ZBrush. I'm genuinely surprised they haven't like incorporated it into Blender already, like naturally.
Might just be a thing they don't want, but yeah, no, it's I noticed that there's a big exodus on Gumroad right now. Although I heard that was more because PayPal was getting sick of people buying stuff for that. Because PayPal's also been getting weird lately.
Why would they care? All they do is transfer money. They should know. They should not care about what people are buying, as long as it's not illegal.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's a part of that bill again, because a lot of people quote that bit. Like, you not remember what the fuck what exactly the wording on it or why it does it, but I distinctly remember it's like they count it as like prostitution or something.
Even so, that has nothing to do with PayPal.
Well, since they so what
that would be like that would be the equivalent of me paying for using my they would not charge a bank for something like that. A bank would not be held responsible.
Well, it's something about that bill that lets them become responsible. Like I said, I would have to look up the exact details on it, but I've heard that from multiple sources.
I could understand that being from Gumroad or something like Reddit or Tumblr or something, but not like that's you can't. That would be like if they if you can't charge like the bank like unless because there's no way that the bank's gonna know what is being purchased. It's like if you bought something lewd off of eBay, like the bank isn't going to like the bank or whatever isn't going to know what you bought off of eBay. They're just going to see an eBay charge.
Yeah. Is this the fucking Viking Hall?
I don't know. I'm using the I'm just using like tanks of stuff on like since the roof is made of wood. I'm just using the spray on it. So I can just get like all this in a big go.
Oh yeah, you're probably just mulching through it then. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little irritating. It's like, hey, I like some of the stuff I bought on here, because I might also have a few lewd 3D sculptors lying around.
I mean, that's whatever, but
yeah, it's like I like some because some of those guys are fucking like, fuck. Like there's a guy who was making Sonic avatars for like VR chat and stuff, and like they were like high end ones too, and it's like, fuck, this guy has his shit taken down now.
My model will work in VR. My model's actually set up for that too.
Oh, you can actually just put yourself into VR chat.
I can if I want. My model is completely rigged like a game character.
Yep. I know mine can be. I just have to go through an extra step to do it.
No, I did that. I just did it because I didn't know what I needed to have done, so I just did the whole thing. I am a fully fledged, fully operational game character.
Yep. I know the program I use just set it up like that because I'm not a full custom. I'm a third party. Well, okay, I'm not. I shouldn't say not a full custom. I built this model from the ground up, but in a program that lets you like redo stuff.
I mean, to be fair, doing that is a lot faster than what I do. So
yeah,
it's not. I mean, I've heard that there's some like companies that just use I can't think of the name of what it is you're using.
The Epic or Unreal Engine.
No, when you made the model in that you and both you used.
Oh yeah, I forget what the fuck that's called.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I've seen that.
It's a fairly robust custom, and it's gotten a lot better even from once I started using it. And I just mean by skill level, I mean it's like it's legit gotten like fairly good.
I know. I've seen people's models. You can make a really good model faster than I could ever make one do what I do.
But it is a lot more limitations, like I would say.
Probably, but I don't know if they're like so much like my skill level isn't high enough that I could probably get like it's probably around the same level as far as what you could get out of there now, so it doesn't really matter in that sense.
Oh, the basic modeling, yeah, it's well, I guess all the layers and stuff on top is a lot easier to do than the model itself.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to talk to Kane about that actually to see if they would do one for me, like do a custom close set.
I know that Cheyenne paid me once to essentially attach someone's like they had bought some like what are they called devil wings, but they couldn't get them working, so I did it for them.
Yeah, that's
like,
the problem.
I didn't make them. I just attached them.
Like, oh, I forget the model Kiyu bought his model, like the site Kiyu bought his model off of, which, no dish on that. It
was freaking Etsy.
Yeah, Etsy, that's it. I couldn't think of the name Etsy. It's like they sell custom, like, clothes sets and accessories. I can't figure out how to get them to work.
That can't be too difficult.
It's not, but it's just one of those things I haven't. But I don't want to crack my model open to try to get it to work. It's like I haven't bothered to just use one of the defaults or flow it on there.
Yeah, that's bad. The way you set up the custom ones, I have not. I messed something up on them, and it would take a few hours for me to go through and fix it. And if I wanted to make any changes, so I just kind of been like, screw it, I don't want to. So I don't update anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why it's like I don't like using anything outside of the base stuff with my own model, because it's like, oh, if I break anything, I'm not touching this model again.
I mean, I think you could technically like save an alternate. Like, if I went through and like mess with mine, I would just have to like make sure I have the thing saved, so I could just go back and just undo it. But I just don't care enough.
I thought I did.
It's using a really old version as well.
You know, I thought I did, but apparently I put it on a cloud save, and apparently I can just download the usable file, not the editable, a file that I can edit with. That's actually what prompted the full V2 upgrade for me, because I was going to just go in and tweak a bunch of new stuff with updates after I got my new rig, and I was like, oh wait, I don't have the core file anymore. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I didn't use the skills my modeling skills like enough that I've lost a lot of it. Plus, when they transferred over to Blender from I used to use 3ds Max, but it stopped being free and it's expensive, and I hadn't used it in a while, so I was like, oh, I'll just learn Blender. And it's one of those things where like I'd like to spend more time learning Blender, but at the same time, like making videos takes damn long, and I don't find time for both.
Yep. I'm kind of abandoning my bi-weekly release schedule. I was going to try to hold myself to, and it's like, I'm going to try to get a video out a month.
I struggle with that even. I literally spent like 8 hours today working on it, and technically, I only have, I think it's gonna be 17 minutes, and the thing is, only like 4 minutes of it is 100% done.
Yeah, but you are also going a lot deeper into it. I'm going into the podcast lore style videos.
Yeah, but those seem to do better than what I do, so realistically I'm just making bad choices.
Hey, join me for mine. Do the editing on that one. I'll do all the research.
I'm about the research. It's one of those things where I just like, I know what things would probably be more effective, and I just don't like that kind of stuff that often, you know? It's like...
Oh, no, here's the people thing that you don't understand about, like, the lore podcast. If you're actually, like, bringing up the stuff on, like, a franchise, it takes a bit of... Like, I'll spend more time probably digging and looking for stuff than I will actually editing a video.
Oh, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I'm just personally not that big of, like, I like that kind of stuff, but I'm just like one of those things where I see a lot of people like just make videos where they just talk, but they don't actually say anything. You know? I see a lot of that nowadays, and a lot of it is really successful, and I'm not really sure I understand why. I get the idea that everyone, like, you know, so if you were to say to someone, yeah, do you know that the original Mario 2 was actually Doki Doki Panic in Japan? It's like, I get that everyone has to hear that somewhere for the first time, but it's like, how often do people need to bring that up? You know what I mean?
Oh, you're looking at like the basic. Yeah, no, I'm definitely trying to stay away from that one. Like
well, it's not even. I mean, it's not even just like with that with lore stuff. It's like, so I like a lot of the the DBZ stuff. I like when I watch it in short sometimes, but then I'll just like people will just sit there like just reiterating whatever was in the manga, and it's like, you know, do people really just not want to read the manga? I don't read. I'm mostly an anime watcher, so it's like it's more interesting for me to see, kind of get some updates. But at the same time, like, people are making all these like the way they're talking is like, man, it's like I studied the manga carefully. It's like, dude, those mangas were never made carefully. Shut up.
Those were made to put out weekly.
Yeah, like, Kiri Toriyama is an absolute beast, one of the greatest of all time. But let's be real, he didn't like put a lot of thought into what he was doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll definitely give you that one. It's like, well, here's the thing: people don't. Okay, I don't. You've triggered my. I want to talk about Akira Toriyama reflex now, but
go ahead.
Yeah,
dude's a legend.
People always credit him for being an action writer. He's a comedy writer at heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like so many people seem to fucking forget that too. It's like he's the greatest action writer. It's like, yeah, no, he made some of the best, but he was a comedy writer at heart.
Yeah, he really is. But I mean, he's also basically he made the series that is the king of shonen. Like, Dragon Ball Z is like the champion of shonen. Like, doesn't matter if most shonen fights are better. Like, every fight in Demon Slayer is technically better than any fight in Dragon Ball. But
man, that's probably a good way to start some fights on the internet.
I know it is. But that doesn't make Dragon Ball any less amazing.
Yep.
Because most stupid people would respond with, man, Goku could wipe out Tanjiro in a second. Like, yeah, no duh.
No.
Like, anyone whose argument would be, it's better because this character's stronger, and that's not an argument.
Well, here's the other thing a lot of people seem to forget too is like the Dragon Ball as a manga is a 80s series that evolved into the 90s. And how much do you know about 80s shonen?
Not much. I know that a lot of it was like kind of, even though Dragon Ball was kind of one of the first ones, it was also partially based on Fist of the North Star, which I have not watched or read.
Okay, so a little clarification.
I have watched the first season of JoJo.
Yep. Okay, so you know what's credited for being the first shonen series?
Astro Boy?
No, that's maybe. But that's also credited with being like the earliest of manga, so it can't really have all the fucking things on there, but yeah.
I mean, it was a show about giant robots fighting.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, not giant robots. He was basically like the Mega Man of his time.
Oh yeah, no, he's
So he did fighting. So I mean, I feel like he'd probably fall under shonen.
Well, weirdly enough, Astro Boy didn't have a lot of fighting in it.
Didn't?
It was more of an adventure kind of story.
I mean, so was the first Dragon Ball.
Yeah. But no, the series like generally credited with being like the origin and solidifying the shonen genre is Devilman.
I know they made a remake of it, and I just.
I'm not gonna like discount anyone because that art style is very unique, and it went all in on the Devilman story. But the creator of that franchise went on to help define the shonen genre in the 70s and much of the style in the 80s too. And it's the mangaka is called Go Nagai. You might have heard of him, might have not.
What else has he made?
Well, he's credited with creating 3 genres, which are shonen, mecha, and magical girl.
Dang.
Yeah, and he is also credited with being the all-time master of ultraviolence.
Wow.
Like he is like his work is the term that gave the 80s the term ultraviolence in Japan.
You know, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of ultraviolence. It surprises people.
No, I can see it. It's like after talking with you enough, you like. I don't want to say it negatively, but you like the basic hero story. It's like honestly, it's like if you told me what your favorite DC hero would be and you didn't say Superman, I would be a. It's a Batman.
Are we talking DC?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Batman.
Yeah, it's like my second guess would have been Batman. It's like you like the good general hero.
Yeah, like taking on DC. Like I've never been like the biggest into them, but I know like DC. I really like Static Shock. I really like Flash.
Yeah, you like the good guy hero.
I mean, I could get behind stuff like Deadpool and even the Punisher if it's like in their character, you know?
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the Punisher movie. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't mind ultraviolence at times, but there's only so much of it I can take.
Yeah. And here's the other one of the 3 things Go Nagai always had in the shows. Scantily clad or naked women.
I mean, Fairy Tail has that.
No. You don't know Go Nagai scantily clad. Like, okay, let me put it this way. One of his other most famous here, like his magical girl character is called Cutie Honey, who can magically transform into like any other type of character, like race car driver, all this, and just immaculate, and it's like the most desirable woman in the world. And And that's not his sexy, like his outrageous character. His craziest one is a character called Keko Kamen, a high school girl who fights an evil educational system. You know what her costume is?
Sexy teacher.
A mask.
And nothing else?
And nothing else.
I mean, that's kind of hilarious in its own right.
Yeah, it's like that's like, if you look at like pre Sailor Moon magical girl shows are fucking just the most scantily clad, like sexy warrior, like Xena style shows, like just like, oh, this is what this genre used to be.
Yeah, I like the more pure-hearted stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like and then women started writing it, and it was like, oh, this changed drastically. Because then we got Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, and a bunch of other stuff like that.
I love Sailor Moon. That's actually what my next video is. And I want to do Cardcaptor Sakura at some point. I need to actually... I think they just released their final manga. I really need to pick it up.
Yeah, I forgot that was still going.
Actually, the final manga just released and it's not going anymore.
Yep. But, okay, so winding back to the point, it's Dragon Ball, the original adventure one, with this short, stubby kid and this comical girl, is what broke into that shonen market. You know, ultra-violence, naked women, and, you know, heroes so tough that, you know, demons fear them. It's like,
yeah,
I've
seen. I watched like an episode or two of Fist of the North Star.
And it's like, oh yeah, no, he's not the you know, the I'm here to save people. It's like, anything that gets in my way explodes. You've been warned.
I guess it's also the concept that, like, I like the idea of like, you know, people with power actually using it for good as opposed to being douchebags. Because there's enough of that in the real world.
Yep.
I also grew up with Power Rangers, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dragon Ball came into that world, so that's why it was such a fresh breath air in Japan. And because it did so well in Japan, you brought it over to America, and Americans were like, "What's this shit? Fuck!" And we were in the I forget, did we get Dragon Ball Z late '90s or mid '90s?
I didn't get into Dragon Ball at first because ironically, I didn't like Dragon Ball at first, or Dragon Ball Z at first, because basically it was just a bunch of Dragon Ball Z fans turned me off from it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And that was like early on. I was like, you're like, yeah, they would defeat the Digimon like it was nothing. And like, we don't look at any of this baby stuff. But then it was in school and it was like raining for recess, and the teacher's like, well, what do you all want to do, this or this? And I was like, my vote. I lost the vote, and the vote won for watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z that a kid had brought in. And I watched it, and it was the introduction of Future Trunks. And I was like, oh my god, this guy's so cool.
Holy, okay, that's actually the first episode of Dragon Ball Z I watched too.
Oh, it wasn't the first episode I watched. I had seen the World's Strongest movie prior on, because like at the time Cartoon Network wasn't on every TV, but my grandma had it, so I watched it there. And it was on some other channel really early in the morning, and I remember seeing some episode that was taking place on Namek because Gohan had the bowl cut. This is like we're talking before Funimation had it. So.
Oh my god, did you happen to catch the Oceans dub then?
I might have.
Holy shit.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I saw the Oceans dub when I was really little, like really little. I didn't understand what this was.
Yeah. Because
it was on like really early on like Sunday mornings or something on a channel. I didn't know what channel it was.
Yeah. Okay, so I technically have a weird story. So, my first time ever watching Dragon Ball Z my cousin convinced me to buy a video at our movie rental place, and it's the like 3 episodes where Trunks is introduced.
Yeah, that's the one that got me into it.
Yeah, so it's like that was my first introduction to Dragon Ball Z. Although, funnily enough, I had caught an episode of Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Z somehow. Don't know how, but I had.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, on what?
Like, fuck if I know. But, like, the first thing I ever ended up seeing of that show was actually the introduction of Master Roshi.
Oh, jeez.
Which is, like, episode, like, 3 or 4, like, OG Dragon Ball.
Oh, I've watched OG Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, my actual introduction to Dragon Ball was actual Dragon Ball.
Well, dang.
It was only, like, one episode. I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then after, going back and watching, it's like, wait, I watched an episode of, like, Dragon Ball way back in the day. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I know that when it came to like Dragon Ball Z, I had I was at the time was so hyped about it that like they had a bunch of like they way before the Boo Saga came out in English, they released them on VHS before they actually aired on television, and I found out because like Suncoast or something had them, so I was like buying a bunch of the original VHSs because I was like, I want to watch this. So when they finally came out in English...
Oh, I'd have to know them off the top.
Nice. When they finally came out in English, it was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize... I had already, like, seen a bunch of them. I had, like, basically gotten up to, like, right before they go after Boo. So I was actually ahead. So even though they announced, like, I was, like, so excited for the return of Dragon Ball Z, and then it's like, oh, wait, I've seen, like, the first 20 episodes, because I got these on VHS.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's still fun. It's just like how I'm excited that they had finally announced continuation of Super episodes.
Oh yeah, at this point they had to because everybody's just going ballistic.
Oh no, they had announced it like a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Fell off the roof.
Yeah, I fell off the roof a couple times. Well, it looks like I think you could take the ladder up the thing and bring the ladder up here.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I got up to this point already, so like, how the fuck did I've already figured it out again. But all right, question for you though: are you gonna try to play Sandland?
Wait, what?
Sandland. It's Akira Toriyama's last work. It's a video game.
Never even heard of it. Never even heard of that.
How the fuck have you not heard of Sandland? Okay,
just because you attach his name to it doesn't mean I'm going to automatically play it. I don't play Dragon Quest.
Yep. Well, okay.
I did try it with number 8 originally, and I was just like, I don't like this.
I can understand that. Even I've bounced off Dragon Quest a couple of times. It's too many classic JRPG tropes in there for me.
Well, I just remember playing it on the demo on PS2 and going, this is too slow even for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I'd kind of like to go back and try it again sometime. I think they made an HD of 8, and I also found a copy of 8 at a Goodwill. So it's like, that's the one with the hero I've always liked the design for the most. So
is that the one with like the turban?
The bandana.
Okay. I think I know that one then. Are you familiar with the series Metal Max?
Metal Max?
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say it looks like it's very reminiscent of that because it's a real-time action game where you're either on foot or in a vehicle. So think of turn Twisted Metal into a JRPG.
That sounds awful. That sounds like it completely misses the point of what makes Twisted Metal good.
But keep in all the vehicular combat.
Doesn't make any sense. Look, I would try it. I'm just saying that doesn't like describing it like that is a massive turnoff.
It's like I don't know how else to describe, because it's basically like a lot of the combat is a tank or vehicle based shooter, similar to like Vigilante 8 or Twisted Metal, but at the same point, like you'll get off into town, stuff like that, or you'll just be driving around the world.
I mean, it sounds cool, but like like it's one of those things where Akira Toriyama is an absolute goat. But just because his name is attached to something doesn't mean I'm gonna play it.
Yep. No, I can definitely understand that. I'm just saying it's it's a very interesting.
Blue Dragon.
Oh, that was a fucking misstep on so many levels. But that was also Microsoft just being absolutely desperate to get into the Japanese market. We got so many weird JRPG, like in America, like exclusive to like the 360. They're just like, what the fuck was this shit?
I actually think I have some of those now that you mention it, because I found them at a Goodwill.
Like Eternal Sonata, Lost Odyssey, Enchanted Arms.
I think I have 2 of those.
Like, there's a bunch of them, and they're just like, because a good chunk of them are Square too.
I know. I think that's why I picked them up when I saw them.
And it's very much Microsoft was just throwing money at them, saying like, make us games, make us, and like Square got experimental as fuck.
I mean, good.
Well, I mean, the problem is like it wasn't a lot of good concepts.
I mean, people call the PS1 and what's it called, Super Nintendo era the golden era of Square, and I think it's because they were being more what's it called, creative with their design. Like, they were taking more risks at the time because they had what people were calling the Final Fantasy VII money to take risks with.
Oh no, I would say the 360 era is when they went fucking crazy. But the problem is, it was like there's being risky, and then there's all right. Like, I think Last Remnant was the worst of them all. Because have you ever played that? Have you ever played it or looked at it?
I'm pretty sure I own it, but I've not done anything with it.
I own that on Steam. You can't buy that anymore. So
I think I had it on 360.
Yeah, it's a 360 game that got a Steam port for a minute, and then it got an update on console for like a digital release, and then they took it off Steam.
It's one of those things where for a while, before like game collecting became a major thing, I was getting a lot of cool stuff from Goodwill, and I'd buy it all for really cheap.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of like random games and things that I'm not even sure what I own because of how many I've gotten from that.
Yep. But okay, so the way the combat works is instead of like tricking out individual characters, you have an entire a group of characters make up a squad, and from that squad you can choose several like generalist commands of what you want them to do. Hello.
Nope.
Drop it in.
Yeah, I felt that the figurehead right above you is almost there.
Yeah. The problem being is they're vague on what those commands are a lot of the time. So it comes out to 5 commands, which all just quickly roll up to attack, attack hard, attack to the left, attack, independently. And just like, what the fuck does any of that mean? Or then like you get, I remember one time, like I got the command to do like this group's like leader's like ultimate ability, which was summon out like a giant super gun and blast the enemy. And then the next squad does basic attacks and they do more damage. And it was just like, what's even the point here? Why? Like, why did I bother?
Yeah, I understand that. There are a few games I could think of that I can't think of them, but I know I've had that experience before. It's just like, why did I hate this?
Yeah. Well, it's like, what was it? Persona 3, initially you couldn't control like the majority of your party. You could only control the main character, and like the other 3 characters just did their own thing.
To be fair, I've never actually played any of the Persona games.
I've tried playing them several times, and I always bounced off of them.
I know that I've played, okay, I played the fighting game for a couple of minutes. And I know that Persona games are games that I would like. Because I love the anime, and I know that they're for me, but they're also massive time investments.
Yeah, they're that. The problem I have with them is they're always fucking, I hate the social aspect of them.
I
Like,
could live with it.
like, you know, how did you spend your time in high school? Not with people.
I mean, I'm not really sure what to tell you about that. I get what you're saying, but
like,
usually people like you would gravitate towards that stuff to make up for that deficiency.
oh no, it's like I dislike it on a vexing level. Like honestly, it's like I hate anime like that too. It's like I just cannot stand like a lot of like, oh yeah, no, we're a high school setting. You know, it's like, yeah.
Eh.
I think the last high school anime I was able to like sit down and watch that spent any amount of time in its own high school was fucking Beastars.
Still think you should genuinely give Kaguya-sama a try. It is so funny, you will forget. It's literally more, it's so funny. You will just kind of forget about the setting. Because the setting doesn't really amount to much. It's just an excuse to put them in the same room together.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the majority of the thing takes place, the majority of the entire show actually just takes place in the student council room. Like 90% of the show is just them kind of like trying to espionage each other out of it.
No, that is one that's kind of been floating on my list. The problem is it's getting buried under the seasonal anime rush.
This would have been the season to go. There wasn't that much going on this season.
There really wasn't. But I've been having trouble. The problem, okay, I do, you know that I do the podcast with Yuki to go over all the new anime, and yeah. Holy fuck, has this just been the season of mid?
Yeah, I know. I actually, so to be fair, I've actually kind of enjoyed it.
Like there's like, some good shows, but like fucking just so many shows that are just been like they're not bad, they're just fucking mid as fuck.
Well, next season's gonna be like kicking off again, like with return of Konosuba and a lot of other big names are coming back next season. So it's not like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of nice just getting a break where I didn't need to. There wasn't something I need to watch. The only thing I've been watching was Solo Leveling and Freerun.
Yep.
And like Freerun's technically done, but I've been watching the dub of it. So I only like so next Friday will be the last episode of Freerun for me.
What I would probably say you would love Delicious in Dungeon.
Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah. Oh shit. No. It's on Netflix.
I mean, it's not like I don't know how to pirate.
Yep. No, but
it's like Kingu says that too. Is like, oh right, you're like pirate. Like I am fully aware of how to pirate.
Well, I just know so many people that like the minute I like they say it's like, oh, it's not on a streaming service I have. I'm just not gonna watch this. It's like, all right.
Oh,
you know.
No. So I'm not getting Disney Plus just to watch Bleach. The end.
Hey, they're
about the Bleach.
They're about to put Macross on there.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of the classic mech series. Technically, it's also the origin of idol anime.
You know, the irony is, when it comes to mech anime, like, my favorite anime of all time is technically a mech anime.
Which
and
one?
And the second one as well. Code Geass.
Oh, yeah.
and then after that, Gurren Lagann. They're both mech animes, but I've watched a handful of mech animes, but I don't tend to watch them that often.
There hasn't been a good one in a. Okay, I shouldn't say that. It's finally starting to come back, but there was a solid decade we just didn't have good mech.
I really liked.
There wasn't a Gundam.
I liked SSS Gridman.
That technically counts as a Sentai.
Oh well, I like the Gridman ones. They were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no, they're amazing. I won't argue that. I love them too. But no, yeah, those count as Sentai.
Okay, let's be real here. Okay, fine. I love Sentai.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
It's so
Like,
much fun.
yeah, especially it's like after I've gotten used, like after like going from Power Rangers to like the original Sentai. It's like one of the Discord groups I'm in. It's like started watching like, some of the Kamen Rider series. It's like, holy fuck, these are fun.
You know, so the funny thing about Kamen Rider is like, Kamen Rider is one of the earliest things I saw. Cause like, it would come on Sci-Fi Channel when I was a kid, and I didn't know what I was watching, but I loved it.
Yep.
So
You actually know
that's
what
how I found
the
out-
SSS stands for in Gridman, right?
No.
Okay, so you remember that you watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, right?
Yeah.
You know that joke where like Vegeta's talking to Gohan early on? It's like, you know, Power Rangers. He's trying to explain like the Ginyu forces.
Yeah.
You know, like the last one
Right.
like, no, it's
No, I was just naming some of the ones that he mentioned.
yeah, like the last one he mentioned. He's just like, God damn it. It's
Oh yeah.
it's
Something Fighters from Outer Space.
no, it's oh, what the fuck is it?
From Beverly Hills. Base Tatooine from Beverly Hills. I think that's what it was. What the heck is this last piece of dirt?
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
That sounds right.
You know which Sentai they stole that from? Like what that was edited from? Because you know Power Rangers and Beetleborgs and all them were all taken from a certain Sentai.
I love Beetleborg. Wait, was Beetleborgs a Sentai? Oh yeah, it's a Sentai. Yeah.
Was it?
Was it? I loved Beetleborgs as a kid.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved it.
Metal Rangers is what Beetleborgs was. But do you know what? Like I said, do you know what?
No, I don't.
It was stolen from a Sentai called Gridman.
So,
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, Gridman.
Oh dang! So because I remember, so I was watching. I think it was the first SS Gridman, not the second one. And at the end when they bust out, was it Ultraman comes out at the end?
It's pure Gridman. It's like base Gridman, which is also just basically Ultraman. But yeah,
I remember watching him pop out because my brain had been thinking the whole time that it was something like that. And here's the funny thing: I didn't have any experience with that at all, and even I could feel the nostalgia just flowing in. I was like, I had no nostalgia for this, but I feel like when that happened, my brain thought to myself, the fans of whatever this is referencing are cheering at this moment.
Yeah.
And I could feel that energy just sitting there watching it by myself.
but that's how awesome that show was. Like, if you look into Gridman and how much of a like, because that entire show's a love letter to Sentai. Like that's the only reason like I'm adamant. It's like that's not a mecha, that's a Sentai, because it's a Sentai tribute too.
Isn't there that new that evil Sentai show coming out? this season? Or is that next season?
What do you mean evil? Because we did have like a...
The one where the Sentai, like, they were the Sentai one time, but then they took over the villains, and essentially are just like kind of running off they're forcing the villains to keep going so they can keep being heroes.
Yeah. I don't know if that's this season, but I know what you're talking about. I do remember seeing that.
That needs to drop already. I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's called I know you don't like the romance stuff, but did you see Love is War? Or not Love is War, Love After World Domination?
I watched half of that. I never got a chance to finish that one. I just got busy.
It has well, it's only 12 episodes, but that has the Sentai backdrop.
Well, here's the other one. Like, I don't like probably one of the other genres I bounce off the hardest is like the care anime. They're kind of called.
I don't know what that is.
So what the genre basically is, it's oh, you've had a hard day at work, just come home and watch this, relax. Like, you'll see this other guy just kind of going through like his fun, relaxing day too on his day off.
Oh, like what's it called? That the Sekio the Fox.
Yeah,
that one.
That's a healing. Move a little bit from.
I watched that.
Yeah, that's a healing anime. I normally I don't like melancholy. I don't like relaxing stuff. They're normally things I bounce off of. We had one this season. It's all about a villain, like Mr. Villain's Day Off. All about like, what did Zed do when he wasn't like trying to conquer the world? It's like, what the fuck were they doing on like their time off? And it is so fucking relaxing. Or we actually, okay, there's.
I don't usually tend to gravitate towards that kind of stuff either.
Well, like I said, it's not like you're seeing a villain do it. It's like one of the biggest ongoing jokes in that one is, so the Red Ranger in this show is the classic like Zorro, no sense of direction, and the main villain like keeps running into him on his day off. And he's like, "Are you here to do?" It's like, dude, it's my day off. I'm just trying to relax. It's like, no, you're not. This is why I patrol this part of the city, and it's just like. This isn't that part of the city. Red Ranger. Oh, villain. Are you lost? Yeah. You want help? You want some help getting back, man? Yeah. So it's literally escorting him to like the tram station. Like, take this train, get to where you need to go. I'm going back to the zoo to look at pandas.
Well, it was a shame that with
to be fair, there it is. Fuck. Yeah.
Where? Finally.
Right over here.
I've been trying to find that the whole time.
Yep. And I will say this: the main character from that is fucking Kigu.
I don't know if that makes me want to watch it more or less.
Watch one episode of it. And I will guarantee you will laugh your fucking ass off the whole time.
Oh, time to buy the most powerful washer.
How much did you get from this one?
About 700.
Huh.
Can I buy the attachments for this one? So. Alright, cool. Out of money now. Alright. Oh, this is the one I saw Cheyenne doing. With Hoots one time.
Alright. Oh. The fuck?
Alright.
Oh my god! Ah! What? Ah! Ah! What the fuck? What the absolute fuck? Alright, I'll start at the other end.
Yeah, it's a real shame though with Love After World Domination. I love that. I bought the anime. I even bought the the figurine for it. But the problem was, so it actually never got a physical copy release in the States. You have to buy it digitally. They never released the manga, and I was like, really? I wanted to support this. This was so good.
Buy it
And the
digitally
manga,
on
like,
what?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just want. I like.
Hopefully not Funimation.
I don't think so. But it was. I was so disappointed because I wanted to at least own the physical copies because they didn't like the anime like finished at a nice spot, but it didn't actually like finish as far as the show goes.
Yeah, there's so
and
more.
then the manga actually got canceled. So he like the ending got like a lot of the character development you could tell just didn't get finished. So, like he set up a bunch of different things. Now the ending was still really good. Like he got to do like it's clear that the creator had that ending planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything was there were things set up for it, and it was clear that was like because I had always thought about how is this gonna end with the way like the world works, and it's really really good. But like it got rushed. It definitely there's a lot of loose ends that weren't like cleared up for other characters other than the main ones. It still had a really good ending that made me happy, but I was just like, why did this have to get canceled? It was so good. And then at least give us a second season. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Like I said, give Mr. Villain's Day Off like a good watch. It's unusually good.
Well, it's one of those ones where I also like. I tend to have a problem with what is it called? Stuff where nothing's happening.
And yet you like Frieren.
Stuff is happening in Frieren though.
Yeah, I know. I just like to poke fun at it.
Yeah, I understand. But it's like when I say like okay, so this way I lose some interest when there isn't much like it's hit or miss for me, but it's like when stuff doesn't have what's it called any kind of urgency, I do tend to start to lose like I don't tend to focus as much,
Yeah, I will say they do have like there is a ongoing story in the background. Like you do see like while you're only seeing his days off, you're seeing like you also get like glimpses into like the work week and like how everyone's plans and worlds are progressing. So it does definitely feel like there's a lot going on. And it introduced one of the most interesting ideas I've seen from a fucking almost said shonen, but like Sentai. So the Green Ranger is two people.
I think Power Rangers actually did that already.
Well, what it is, it's a pair of twins. When they morph, they become one person.
Oh, okay. They didn't do that exactly.
Yeah. So the Green Ranger is two people that becomes one when they morph.
That's a cool concept.
And like all the Rangers have powers when they're like unmorphed to an extent. Like the Greens is like really distilled down, but at the same point they also have like a telepathy with each other.
Yeah, civilian powers. I know it's something that newer Power Rangers do.
Yeah. Even the old like it got started back in the Mighty Morphin era with the ninja powers technically, but it's got expanded more and more over the years.
Well, I mean, what's it called? I know this is like a disliked season. Like I say, I didn't watch past my Space, but I've seen some of the fight scenes on YouTube and stuff.
Well, see, Operation Overdrive is what killed it for me.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the one I was about to reference because when they brought back what's it called? When they brought back Adam, and they had like them all like fighting the foot soldiers, and they're like, yeah, here's them using the civilian powers. They all use the civilian powers to finish off their enemies, and then Adam just does a giant roundhouse kick and takes them all out with one shot. And he's like, maybe old school, but he gets the job done.
Oh, Operation Overdrive had some good concepts to it, although the main villains were like, oh, you ever see that old Christmas special with like Heat Miser and Ice Miser?
Yeah.
Those were the villains.
Yeah, I've watched Linkara's video on it, and they had like
he pulled out the song. Oh yeah, that was weird. He pulled out the song for that one. It's like, yeah, that's the first thing I thought too when I saw him.
Well, apparently, like the final Ranger season that just came out, still has brought back Zed as the main villain.
Yeah, did you watch it or watch Linkara's video on it?
Linkara's video.
Yeah. I did too, which I don't know. I'm also curious to see if they're going to end the continuity there. Actually,
That'd be interesting.
I mean, Power Rangers has been going for a fucking while. And I understand, like the
Like
the
30
Sentai,
years, I think.
the Sentai technically has had an ongoing story for like its main franchise, but it's like even they don't pay attention to continuity as much as like Power Rangers did, though.
Well, apparently, based on what Linkara said, they dropped the continuity a lot and then pick it back up and drop it and then pick it back up.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the things where, like, part of me wants to watch some more because, like so on my channel, I have a few different series that I want to review every game for, and Power Rangers is one of them.
Yeah.
And I actually, as far as it goes, I only have one more Mighty Morphin game, and I've done all the Mighty Morphin ones.
Oh shit.
Although I might go back and do the. I also did Zeo Ranger, or not Zeo. The Famicom game based that Mighty Morphin's based on. So I might go back and do that because that was one of my earliest ones, and it's not very good. I also did one on Jetman because I played the Famicom games.
Okay.
I actually own the physical. Own the physical. What are they called? Jew Ranger. I actually own the physical of that.
Oh wow.
But but the quiz things are in Japanese, so it's better just to play the emulator.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ninja, I want to do all the Ninja Turtle games. I want to do all the Power Ranger games, Sailor Moon games, Sword Art Online games.
Do the Chichibuyo games.
God, why? What are they?
Actually, quite a few, a couple RPGs.
Really?
Yeah, it's a weird franchise. It's like everyone like pokes fun at it, but it's like, yeah, the games are actually kind of legit.
So I watched Tenchi growing up, and I was so confused because there's Tenchi Tokyo, Tenchi.
Yeah, there's
Tokyo.
like when the Fit series first got big, like they decided to split the continuity.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really, really confused me as a kid. I do remember, I think the only one I ever got to see to the end was Tenchi in Tokyo.
Which isn't part of the main continuity.
Of course.
Yeah, the one like everybody like doesn't like the one that got the least amount of showings is the one that's actually like the full continuity.
It's one of those ones where it's like one of those ones where I always like considered going back and watching, but then I heard that it's still going.
Okay, that's kind of. It's like all the stories are self-contained, realistically, but every so often they pick the continuity back up and move it forward again.
Yeah, I remember that from like being on Toonami. It's one of those ones where it's like I really liked Conan, Detective Conan when I was a kid, but like watching it dub on Adult Swim, but then it's like 1,000 episodes, and I'd like to watch it, but I also feel like in their case, I feel like I'd get bored watching the same scenario. Like there's a point when it's like, okay, seriously, you need to figure out how to turn yourself back.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It's like the only thing you can really like. Detective Conan, the only thing it really has going for it is you don't pay attention to the main plot. It's a mystery series.
I get that, but but they call attention to the fact that he's still a child, but like he can't
All
turn back
the
to adult.
fucking time.
Yeah, and it's like the person who like I enjoy the ships. It's like I want to see him get with the girl again, and a character that's this smart like should be able to figure something out.
Especially with like all the resources he has too. It's like,
yeah, you have a genius scientist next door. How come he's not doing anything? I mean, I think Kigu actually might be caught up on it, but he told me that like I know there was that one episode where he had the alcohol and it turned him back for a short while, but apparently every time he changes back, his body, like the way the virus works, his body becomes more immune to it, so he can't do it again. So you have to keep finding like another new method.
yeah.
I don't know. And there's also that concept where he's technically solved more, like the way the world works, he's technically solved more mysteries than there's been days. So So he'd have to be solving like 2 or 3 mysteries a day at the rate they're going.
They've kind of run into the Simpsons problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Pokemon problem.
Well, and Pokemon finally reset it, ended its continuity, but yeah. Yeah, even Pokemon was like, yeah, we've had enough.
Well, I mean, like, from what I understand in Japan, like people were, like, in the middle of their town square watching, like, Ash win the thing, and that was such a big event, and everyone loved it, and, like, even, like I haven't watched it forever, but it's like, I watched that on YouTube, too. If it was just the final Pikachu moment, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, they did finally go all out, which,
the concept is, there's amazing stories, but, like, there are times when your story has to end.
Yep. Although I heard they kind of did Team Rocket a little dirty at the end there.
Why? How so?
I heard they just quit at the end.
They were never good at being villains anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like
that makes more. I mean, well, to be fair, like, so their whole thing had been chasing. Do you really? That not only have they gotten curb stomped over and over, now they like have to. They trying to do that against the world champion. Come on now.
But here's the thing: it's like I could see them like taking up bigger spots in the. I almost want them to become like leaders of Team Rocket, because it's like, oh yeah, no, the guy you're fighting, he's actually a master. It's like that's the level you guys have been competing at this entire time.
Yeah, but they also fought him his very first battle ever, and they still lost to a Caterpie 2-on-1. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely there with you, but it's just one of those things where it's like...
Yeah, I understand. It's like, there probably wasn't really anything you could have done to make it feel good, but at the same point, it's like...
Well, from what I understand in the manga, they apparently got, like, Jesse and James got married and just had kids together and lived a happy life.
Yep. And Meowth babysits.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Although I did hear they actually brought back like all of Team Rocket's Pokemon for like the very finale. Like their last big move had like their entire team back.
I mean, I'm here for it. I don't know, it's just one of those ones where, like, yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Like I said, I didn't watch it. It's actually one of those ones where I'd kind of like to... I know at the very least, part of me, like, I do own, like, the Indigo Plateau stuff, like, the original season on, like, Blu-ray, I think. And part of me would definitely like to go back and just rewatch it just for nostalgia's sake.
God. See, do you ever watch Swade? He was tied with he's a YouTuber. He was tied with Linkara for a bit.
Yeah, you know what? I've only saw the thing where him, Linkara, and Juwario did that, like, their Pokemon movie reviews.
Yep. He actually went back and did like an episodic review of the entire first series of Pokemon.
It's one of those things where...
And it's very much like, oh yeah, I could see. I remember all that. It's like, yeah, that was kind of shit.
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like looking at it, like I have a hard time going back to Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles because they're so cheesy and campy.
Yeah.
Pokemon wasn't really like that, so I feel like I could go back to that without too much issue.
You think you could, like, I don't know, maybe give it a try, but I bet you're gonna hit your first filler arc and it's just gonna be like,
I mean, what even is a filler arc in Pokemon?
The road to Viridian City.
You have to be more specific. What was that specifically?
20 episodes.
Oh, is that the one where they're supposed to be getting ready to go to the Pokemon League and they're just getting distracted?
Well, that's one of the arcs, but it's like I think it's I think it was like Surge to whoever the fucking fourth gym is. It's like it takes 20 episodes to get there.
Yeah, but don't they like do catch Mankey and stuff in the middle of that?
No, that's all pre-Surge. Oh, but Surge was 20 episodes. To get to Surge was 20. And then the one after him was like another 20.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Pokemon has a thing where like that's also a part of the adventure, so it's kind of like it's not. They don't like other than getting the, like there's no time limit on this stuff as we know, so it's not like it really matters that much in that sense. Like it's like oh, it's more of a one where it's supposed to be an adventure, where as opposed to other things where it's like we have a time limit, we have to beat these people to save
Yeah.
something, you know.
But it was just like there was just so many episodes where Ash didn't catch anything, he didn't do anything. It's just like we're just having an adventure.
I mean,
Like it's just this
what
massive
Pokemon-
stretch of
that's-
nothing.
I get it, but that's also kind of what like Pokemon's charm was the adventure, going on the adventure, you know. I mean, even going on like looking at the games, like um, normally I like story, but like when it comes to the game, sometimes the story bogs the main game down. Like I just
Nintendo,
wanna-
skippable cutscenes, skippable cutscenes.
Oh no, I said I'd never skip cutscenes, but I always want to know what's happening. But,
Well,
like,
no,
when it
yeah,
comes
I
to-
don't care about like once or like I like seeing it once or twice. But if I'm going into a boss battle that has like a 5-minute pre-cutscene,
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% time.
yeah, it's like at this point, like no, I don't want to watch this again. Please,
Well, I can't remember the time where I lost a boss fight in a Pokemon.
it's been a while. But at the same point, it's like what was it like? Sun and Moon was just got outrageous with the amount of text you just had to go through at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Sun and Moon just had too much distraction. Like it's one of those concepts where it's like, look, I'm okay with saving the world, but realistically, I'm here to catch Mons and become the champ. So,
Yeah,
even in the original Red and Blue, Team Rocket, like dealing with Team Rocket was just like a side quest for me. But usually, like when you took out Team Rocket stuff, there was usually pretty good rewards, like the Master Ball, a Lapras.
yeah.
I mean, I think the only time I really, really enjoyed taking down an enemy base was in Black and White, because your rival Hugh really hyped up bringing these guys down because he had stole his sister's Pokemon. And I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of want to kick the crap out of these guys. They're douchebags.
I forget. Is Black and White is that going to be the remake we get after Z?
I'm sorry, Black and White 2. And theoretically, if we're going off of how Z worked, we skipped over Black and White. Because
Oh,
Diamond
right.
Pro got their remake. I never actually played the original. Black
All
and
right,
White.
no, you're right. It's the new game coming out. It's an Arceus one. It's just set in the XY universe, XY area.
I love the XY era. I had fallen out during Diamond and Pearl. Like I was like, maybe I've outgrown it because I just didn't enjoy Diamond and Pearl that much.
I that's right where I died out too. It was just like,
Well, I just remember when it came out, the thing was, I remember when like I'd always loved them, right? And I was like, I had fallen out of the show and stuff when around Ruby and Sapphire, so because it just wasn't popular to like it, especially at my age. And I was like, okay, but then I got the game anyway because I was like, oh, I still wanted the game, I'll try it, and the game was still amazing. So I was like, oh, so the games are still fun. So I kept playing the game. So when Diamond and Pearl came out, I was like, Diamond and Pearl came out. I was like, okay, I want to play this. And it was so slow, and I just didn't enjoy it. I thought I had grown out of it. But then my one friend, like, went during Black White 2, had challenged me to like a race in it, and we got each other a copy. Like, in my roommate, we got each other the alternate copy for Christmas, so we could race each other.
yeah.
And we started playing it, and then he immediately fell off the race because it was like only like 2 weeks later they announced X and Y, and he's like, well, let's just wait till X and Y comes out. But I had already started Black and White, so I was like, I'm gonna keep playing this. And I fell in love with the series again, and it's like, oh, okay, so it was just that Diamond and Pearl wasn't very good.
Yeah. No, that's kind of like when they announced like the remakes. I was just like,
I mean, if they sped up the action and the what's it called?
I honestly thought Diamond and Pearl just tried to be too full of itself. It's like, this time we're bringing out God.
I think it was more about they were just running out of ideas.
It's like, yeah. I don't know. People say like, oh, Pokemon had so much better ideas back in the day. It's like, I don't see them like. A lot of the new Pokemon feel just as creative as they did back then to me.
They are. I watch this one YouTuber Loxton, and like he'll explain the origins of all of them and like what their references and stuff are, and they're extremely clever and interesting. It's like Pokemon just does not like they every single thing they do has like so many like origins. Just some of them just don't look as interesting because of it, you know.
Yeah. No, it's like they always go all out, and it's like I always like. I just hate hearing the argument on the internet all the time. It's like Pokemon's not as creative as they used to be.
Well, they aren't with certain features. Like sometimes they just aren't as creative with like in-game features as much.
No, I mean people talking about like the designs of the Pokemon themselves.
I mean, some of the designs do suck, but you know, it's like one of those where like, yeah, even though you had a creative inspiration for it, that doesn't make it a good design.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the original had some like the original 150. They were all bangers.
No, they weren't.
I mean, you know, think of all you want about all the jokes and the people poking fun of it. Diglett is a very basic design.
Yeah, I know. I mean, some of the basic design was really good though, so I'm fine with it. Trying to think of a specific one. Like Muck is just like Muck and Voltorb. I mean, they're creative in their own way. Like Muck is just the Pokemon's take on
saying,
a slime.
Yeah, I'm not saying like they're not creative, but it's like, oh, the designs aren't as good as they used to. It's like, what the fuck do you mean as they used to be? Go look at some of the old designs. Those weren't great. You know, they weren't like, I'm not gonna say they weren't creative, but like they weren't complicated. They weren't inspired. Like,
I think I actually love Seal's design, but I'm not gonna sit here and defend it.
yeah, or
but it's still cute.
yeah, I would say Ditto's more of a slime though.
From what I understand, like, I mean, Ditto served a different purpose though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying it's like there are some interesting things back in Gen 1, but like they're not all hits. Yeah, Seal is kind of the worst one of the. It's like, hey, we want to talk about bad designs. Anyone seen Jinx lately?
I mean, but Jinx is actually based on a like I don't like Jinx's design, but it's actually based on something. Based on like that Oki that one that's like the backwards head thing.
Yeah. I understand what it is. Just one of those. Yeah. Cultural things don't always carry over.
Look, I don't like Jinx either, but I'm not like it doesn't bother me that they're there, you know.
Yeah. No. But yeah, it's. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Although, yeah, I am kind of curious as to a black. No, we won't get black and white until after because. Did we get the? Yeah, no, because Diamond and Pearl is the connecting game to what we have right now, isn't it? No. Because.
What?
Because Diamond and Pearl came out with the last game. That was the Sword and Shield connection one, wasn't it?
Sword and what do you mean connection?
Okay, so you know, when they do remakes, they do it in the current generation that's the last game came out on. So, like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is part of the Sun and Moon generation.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, it was Diamond and Pearl came out with
Sword and Shield,
Diamond
isn't
and
it?
Pearl, I think so. So you could technically bring something out with Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet should have black and white.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just not rush it.
Well, here's the thing: if they build it off the engine we have for Scarlet and Violet, like black and white could be very interesting. Because Black and White was America, wasn't it?
Yeah, New York.
Yeah. So they could do some interesting things if they turn that into an open world.
I mean, that's so. The new Arceus game is essentially going to be, like, it looks like it's going to take place entirely in the city of Lumio City from X and Y.
Oh yeah, so France.
Yeah, so that'll probably be like the idea. So it's probably gonna be like a good starting point to try it with. It depends on if they're making like it depends on how they do the remake. I haven't played. I own it. So GameStop, like I don't normally do GameStop stuff, but they had like a buy like 2 Switch games get 1 free thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that was on there, so I got that, and I got Skyward Sword. So basically, I got that and Skyward Sword for $30, brand new.
Oh, cool.
And it was actually sealed. So it's like, okay, cool. So I got them both. I've heard people didn't really like the Diamond and Pearl remakes, but you know, I've heard that about stuff. Like I've heard people didn't like the Let's Go games either. Did you play them?
I didn't, but I understand why. Because you couldn't actually catch Pokemon like how you standardly would.
You know what? I think that was better actually in this game. So it depends on how. Like, okay, so it varied. Like the only ones you had to battle to catch were legendaries. You actually did have to battle making them.
Yeah.
But the thing was like, so I liked it and I didn't like it. Like what I didn't like about the Let's Go style was that when you did it, so it got rid of grinding, which was really nice. Because you didn't have to sit there and grind so much to level up your mons, which was you know something you kind of need to do in the original games. But it also meant more management because like you have to basically catch the Pokemon, get more, to grind them more, and then you would turn them into candy. So instead of where like normally I would just like when I play the games I'll just catch one mon, and like it's very rare if I catch its evolution or anything like that because I just work them up myself.
Yeah, you have to get out of the mentality of you have to catch multiple.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to catch multiple. Which
Well,
Arceus also broke.
Yeah, Arceus broke that really hard. That was like one of the only things I didn't like about Arceus. At the very least, I kind of was gonna be like a thing where it's like when you catch it, well, not because that would slow it down even more. It would have been like, because I was gonna say like make something where you just like automatically turn them to candy or whatever. But then if you caught a legendary or not legendary, shiny, you'd have to remember it. So there's no real good way to do it. But it did like the Pokemon Let's Go version did let you essentially like not have to grind, and that was nice. Mind you, the game was so easy because your Let's Go teammate was so busted that you know you didn't really have to like worry about losing. Actually, though, they did have some special battles that you could participate in. Like the battle against Green was really, really good. And then I never got the battle against Red though. It's a shame. But like they had this interesting concept, but it wasn't for me. Where after you beat the game, right, you unlock these special Pokemon battles or special modes called the Mastery Mode, and essentially there's 152 trainers in the world, and each of them have mastered one Pokemon. So you have to essentially, and you have to beat that Pokemon with the same one, that trainer with that Pokemon. So like one of the first ones I found was Pikachu, and it's like they're like all level 80. It's like I'm not training up 151 different mons to that extreme level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like a good way to cheese it would probably just be like give them all like protect and toxic and just kind of spam it. I would imagine. Why is there a gnome here? Is this a reference to Left 4 Dead?
I have no idea. Like there was one in the last house too.
I feel like this is a Left 4 Dead reference. In Left 4 Dead, there's an achievement where if you drag a gnome all the way from the start to the finish of the game.
Yeah. No, I remember that old one.
Yeah, me and my friends had done that one time. We felt like gnome check. It was dumb. But we did it.
The old dumb fun. I remember. I miss that about some games still. Just that dumb, stupid fun, and not like. God, I'm watching somebody try to go through and get the platinum achievement on Kingdom Hearts 2, and
God.
fuck that.
Oh, I know. Trust me. So I actually got the platinum on Kingdom Hearts 3, but like getting the platinum for like Kingdom Hearts 1 requires you to beat the game like 3 separate times.
Oh, 2's worse. 2, you have to beat critical mode, and then have to go like and fight like the organization digital copies on critical, and
So I sort of did that. So I had this. I still have the save file. When I was playing through, I thought I could be. I was like, oh yeah, I'm great at Kingdom Hearts. So I went through and I did beat it on critical, but I could not beat Terra. I was at level 100, maxed out all my stats, had the ultimate weapon. I could not beat Terra.
well, some of the bosses, it's like you have to figure out the cheese strategy, and there's just no other fucking way around it.
Yeah, I know. What's it called? Like, because I beat like Sephiroth and I beat some of them, but I beat some of the data organization members, but I didn't. At that point, I was getting frustrated, and I was just like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, there's about like 4 of them that are just, oh, do you know this specific cheese strategy? Well, go fuck yourself. I think it's like Axel's a bitch. The shield guy's a bitch.
Because Axel's a problem because the ground's on fire, so you're constantly losing health.
Yep, and the if you don't like the guy with the guitar, that's like a timer check.
Dance.
Yeah, it's like if you don't know the strategy to kill those things off, you're just not beating them.
Yep, I know. And then, well, apparently to beat Terra, like I was using the ultimate power and all the items and stuff like that, I got him at best to half health once. And I was just kind of like, screw this. I know, I looked up what the thing is. You essentially have to use a certain keyblade that minimizes your, the number of swings, and you can, like, stun lock him.
Oh, right, it's like Ragnarok or so. It's like, it basically, it's a combination of you turn your finisher into every attack as a finisher.
No, it's where you, it's the opposite, actually. It's where every attack is just a basic attack, and you just stun lock him. Like, I've seen people's, like, level 1 challenges beat him, and that's how they do it, by stun locking him with, like, the sword you get from Sephiroth. The Fenrir.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the only way to beat him. Because he changes his move sets up a lot, and he has, like, he has a move where he's, like...
Oh, yeah, no, that's the strategy. It's, you lower your combo count down, so all your attacks are finishers, and he gives them a half a second stun.
Yeah. So it's like I cheese plenty of bosses, but when the super secret boss that you were looking forward to fighting can only be beaten by cheesing, it's not as much fun.
Yep. Well, the problem was those bosses weren't balanced around critical mode. That's just what Sony decided to put the achievement to.
Yeah. Like I said, I still have on my PS3 the save file where I have level 100 maxed out, sitting in front of those bosses.
Yep. And it's very much a, like, everyone's spirit's like, yeah, no, we never meant for you to fight these bosses. Like, we did not plan for that. Like, these bosses are not tuned to be fought like this.
Nope. Also, just personally, after playing, like, so I didn't even bother playing Birth by Sleep on critical mode. Playing through 1 and 2 on critical mode left me unhappy. Like, it wasn't fun. Like, it stopped, like, I like challenge, but it was like, this is not fun anymore.
Well, Kingdom Hearts goes from an action game to a puzzle game at that point.
It doesn't even go to a puzzle game. It just goes to a, it just becomes a, like, run and hide kind of game.
Well, no, it's like, there are ways to beat every boss, like, very specifically, but it's using a very specific set of mechanics and items and gear.
Oh, I mean, I didn't do that. I just got through it.
Yeah, you just beat your head against the wall. It's what you can also do. But it's like
That's
the
how
game.
that's how I get through most things.
Yeah, it's like the game is meant to be played like, oh no, you have to learn this mechanic to do here, to do this, to do this, to do this. And the thing is, because the base game isn't set to make you learn that, the critical mode isn't set to make you learn that. So if you don't know what systems of combination of gear, weapons, and abilities you need to use against this enemy or this boss, it just sucks.
Oh, trust me, I know. I did it. That's why I was like, nah, I don't wanna do this anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't bother with last one. Like, critical mode is it's not fun. Like, I mean, if the people want, it's one of those things where like people like I like Dark Souls, but Dark Souls is designed that way, so it makes sense. Kingdom Hearts wasn't designed for that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you like go out and look up a guide like how everything works and train a little bit in it, I've heard like so many people say it's not bad then, but it's like, yeah, but I have to go do all this stuff to play a video game.
Yeah, I find that like I was watching Prez playing some Final Fantasy after we left last night, and one of the other guys was mentioned something about the materia engine, and even I didn't like, even though as much as I played 7 stuff like that, like I still keep learning new things about the materia system because it's like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's like that in depth. Stuff like that. I mean, it kind of like I was watching a Ninja Turtles video for this, and it was talking about the Ninja Turtles, the first game on NES, and I've beaten that. But one of the things they said on there was that like if you're at less than half health, Leonardo hits harder, and I was like, I never knew that, even though I've beaten the game like 2 times, and I'd always wondered like why it seemed like Leonardo was doing different amounts of damage, and I never understood that like why that was. I just thought it was just like, oh, it must be like the enemy is hitting or something.
Yeah, you're not great on mechanics.
Well, I didn't. It was an NES game. I didn't think they had mechanics like that.
Not too often, but they are there.
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting that to be in a Ninja Turtles game.
Yeah, a little piece of me wants to go see you on like a what the fuck, whatever the fuck the Diablo genre is called.
Yeah, it's called the Diablo genre.
It has it. It's like CRPG or something like that. I think officially. Which oh, did you see they actually dropped Diablo 4 on Game Pass?
No, neat. I saw Yuki playing that one time.
It's a lot better than it was, mostly. But the game itself still needs more work done to it. It feels like to be really good.
Yeah, I like. It's one of those things where like Kiyu's the one who does like all the min-maxing stuff. I kind of brute force my way through a lot of games.
Yeah. Well, for you, I would just recommend like, okay, yeah, look up a level guide.
I don't like looking up guides though. I just fight my way through crap.
Yep. Until you hit the wall.
It is very rare for me to hit a wall in a game. The only time I look up guides and stuff is like, usually I will have to like, I usually have to like, really just have to like hit. It's usually just when I'm doing extra stuff. Like once I've beaten the game, it's completely fair game in my opinion. You know.
Yeah.
Like with Kingdom Hearts 2.8, I looked up how to beat the critical version of Aqua to like the secret hidden Aqua boss. I was like, how do I beat her? She's beating the stuffing out of me. And I watched someone explain how her combos work. And I mean, I still had to beat it myself and figure out how to actually pull those combos off and dodging it. So, but
yeah,
that ended up being okay. Nope, I needed to look up how to do it.
Yeah. Although the only thing I will say, I still want to get you and Kiyu to do Mech Warrior with me. I think either me or Kiyu is going to have to handle all of your mech building.
Never. I've played Mech Warrior in those pods.
Yeah. No,
and
but
I think I actually got, not even joking, I got like last place.
Well, okay.
Every time I've tried that.
The controls are they're not very intuitive to just sit down and play. it takes a little bit to get up. They do
Yeah,
have a
I was really struggling.
yeah, MechWarrior 5 does have a mode that lets you, like, it makes it more like a shooter, so it's a lot easier for new players.
Well, it's also they didn't really give you like time to figure it out when I was
Yeah,
playing.
those pods are not. Yeah,
And you have to sit there and wait like 20 minutes to get a turn, and it's like,
yeah. No, I know exactly what your problem was. I'm not going to defend that. It's like it's very unintuitive, but well, here's the thing. It's also the biggest appeal about mech games is you get to crack your machine apart and rebuild it.
see, that's not an appealing thing to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, me or Kigu is going to be doing that for you.
Yeah, I usually tend to just like grab, like I usually just tend to pick a build and I kind of stick with it and try and perfect it.
MechWarrior is a bit odd because it very much encourages you to play with different mechs.
Yeah,
Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, what kind of playstyle would you like to go for?
I don't know. That's the thing. My playstyle changes with every game depending on what I feel.
All right, because I've been trying to branch out more and more lately, but it's like the more and more I do, the more and more I fall back on. Like, I love being the big, heavy armored frontline guy.
I hate that so much. That's the only thing I never play.
See, like that's I've tried doing support. I've tried doing long range attack. I've tried doing like I know I can't do sneaky. I just cannot do stealth. I don't stealth whatsoever.
I'm not that great. I'm not that great at stealth, but I'll do it. So, depending on the game, ironically, I like stealthing in Halo. Ironically, of all things, because the game gives a good job of letting you kind of like be like kind of like snipe and stuff like that.
The only games I have ever liked stealth in are the Bethesda games for some fucking reason.
It's not because you can just like turn stealth on essentially.
Yeah.
It's not really being stealthy. That's just like if you could walk up to someone and then just stab them and they can't see you. It's not really being stealthy.
Yeah, like I can't play Spy in Team Fortress. It's like anything that requires like actual stealth skills, I cannot do.
I've never been particularly good at it, but I don't hate it. Let's see. If we're going off of like League of Legends style,
Oh, I can't play Assassins in that either. No, it's like
I could, but I couldn't play. I tended to
Like-
be AD carry, AP carry, or support in those games.
I could be a mage. I could be a jungle tank. I could be top lane like bruiser. I could not play an assassin.
I could not play bruiser. I could be top lane and just be annoying. So I was definitely never a bruiser.
No, bruiser is my defined class. So, all right. So if we played Mech Warrior, I would not put you in any of the assault or slower mechs then.
Yeah, it's usually that's usually the kind of crap that QE does.
Yeah. So I would probably Yeah, like most of the assault class, like you would just despise that because like they get to move at like 3/4 of the speed of like the mid and heavies.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Oh hell, funny! I think it's one of my favorite mechs. It's called the Urban Mech. So I would say like an average speed is about like a good speed about 50 to 70 kph kilometers per hour. The Urban Mech at full speed does 35.
That sounds awful. I hate moving slow.
That's all that mech does is move slowly.
That sounds truly horrible.
And it's also like one of the only ones that can fly.
That's disappointing. I don't know.
Okay, not fly. It has jumped, but it's like, yeah, I want to put you in one of those. I would probably like to start with. I'd put you in a Locust or something.
I think the only game I like playing the heavy character is Final Fight because Mike Hagar can like jump powerbomb people.
Nah, I'm all about the heavies. No, okay, I wouldn't say I wouldn't put you in any assault mech. The Charger might be up your alley.
I actually tend to gravitate towards the well-rounded characters, ironically.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of everything. Because as much as I like being fast, I've never been very good at dodging or keeping people in the combo. So I like being able to I like being able to jump in, do heavy damage, and run out. But I need to be able to take a few hits because I will definitely take a few hits.
Oh, see, I'm the kind of guy that just rushes in, puts you to the wall, and doesn't let you get up. I play the heaviest.
You're the type of person I would be sitting there just chip damaging to death. You're like,
yep,
haha, haha, haha.
And then I somehow grab you and like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but I usually have enough. That's why I usually play with someone who's rounded enough that I have enough health that when that happens, I won't instantly die, and then I'll get another chance to get you.
Yeah, yeah. You play a mid.
Yeah, usually.
Fucking ugh.
I was kind of hoping that upgrading the gun to the strongest form would make some of these it feels like the big widespread stuff doesn't do much anymore.
I think that's because we're at the later levels. If we probably went back to the earlier stuff now, we would probably just clean it stupid quick. But
yeah, I mean I get that, but still come on, some of these things should be able to the wider stuff, you know.
Yep, yellow's been pretty good with me on most of this stuff so far.
That's mostly what I've been using, but some of these things have required me to some of the final touches here have been requiring me to use the really high pressure small one.
Yep, I can understand that. I find if you just go a little bit slower with yellow, I'm getting the best results. Oh, I had a minor coughing fit just sneak up on me. I don't know where there. Because here's the weird thing about Mech Warrior. You don't get to pick a mech. You'll go into a fight, your mech will get shot the shit up. And then it'll be a while before it can get repaired, so you'll jump into a second one for a bit.
Some of those ones are you're not the first person to mention that to me. My ex had it on Xbox, and she was really big into it. We never ended up playing it.
Okay. Well, she had one of them because Mech Warrior is a franchise from the 80s.
Yeah, I just know that she really liked her Xbox One, and we never ended up playing it, even though I always intended to.
Yeah.
But I think I remember always intended to getting I originally intended on getting a second copy so we could split screen it with her, but that never ended up happening.
Although its copyright is a little bit weird because Mech Warrior is the quintessential, Western mecha, and then you go through and realize, hey, a lot of these look like Macross or Dogram or other anime that didn't really take off in the States too well. And what they had kind of done was they took a lot of the B designs from series that didn't do too well and then just repurposed them for their own system.
Yeah, get that.
But they also did that back in the 80s when people didn't give a shit, and since then they've actually they've done a really good job of redesigning a lot of stuff to be more copyright friendly. I think I would say. So, their designs recently have gotten a lot better. Right all the time Catalyst took over for them. Which I think their last Kickstarter actually broke Kickstarter's records. Because I think they hit 20 million.
I think it's one of those things where Kickstarter records are going to keep getting more and more broke because the people with the money to pay for them now are the ones who are nostalgic for stuff.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit better. Although, I hope it can be, I hope it stays a little bit more legit than it is, because there was for a while there where what the fuck do we have left?
Well, I know this
Door hinges.
I know this cubicle wall like has something. There's like a dot of something somewhere here because it's just not. I'm just not getting it. I literally can't see. Literally can't see what it is I'm missing. And where is it? There we go.
Yep, and it's what else we got here?
Basins, canister pipes, cubicle, door frame. I'm sure I did everything in this tunnel.
Light switches.
Oh, here's one. The crap behind here. What the hell happened to this bathroom?
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, oh my god, when we first came in here.
Yeah, I know, but still. Here's the light. Oh. Here we go. Basin. Where are you last? There we go. Alright.
Where we got like conduits. Door frame.
Canisters, canister pipes. Oh, okay, yep, so this one.
No, but it's like I said, it's as far as a mech franchise goes, it's because you haven't played too many mech games before, have you?
No. The only one I can think I've played one on the PS2 so long ago, and I don't know what it was. We had rented it.
It might have been
And
Armored
I played-
Core.
Did you fly in space?
Was it a Gundam game?
No.
All right. I think a couple of the Armored Cores on the PS2 era, you could fly in space.
I do own 2 of the Gundam games. I own a few mech games. I just haven't played them. I think ironically the only one I can think of is like there's this beat 'em up in arcade that came out in Europe for the arcades. That's a mech game. I've beaten that.
Yep.
It's just like it's a three-player co-op beat 'em up, and like you play as 3 mechs and you fight other mechs, and when you destroy them, you take parts of their bodies.
I think I know what you're talking. Was that a PS1 game you said?
No, this is an arcade exclusive.
Okay, because I played a PS1 game that had the same concept, but funny enough, like mostly think like anime tie-in games as being like really shitty. Gundam had a great run during the PS2 era for some reason.
I know as far as Gundam games go, I do have a Gundam game on the PS3.
Yeah, it's like right after that generation. It's like they started. I don't want to say like they fell off hard, but it's like for some odd reason, like after the like there was a really good run on the PS2, but the games weren't well known, so they didn't do well in America. Because we only just got Wing, and like all the games were based off like the Universal Century stuff. So like so many American fans were like, oh, I don't know these people. What the fuck is this story? What's going on here? And that sounded weird there for a second.
Never actually watched Gundam Wing. The only Gundam I've watched is G Gundam. Yeah, I know. So okay, so the thing with that is, it was like Gundam Wing had ended, and I had heard a bunch of good things, and then they were talking about G Gundam coming out. So I was like, oh, I'll try this Gundam, and it just happened to be the first one I watched. I actually just recently got both of them on Blu-ray.
Funny enough, like most Gundam fans will agree, we all love G Gundam now. It's like there's an appreciation for like how like crazy and stupid it is.
Yeah, but it's also not like it's more like a traditional like shonen anime than it is a Gundam.
Well, it's part of the mech genre. It's commonly referred to as what's called the sumo era. Because until recently, mech genre had 3 different eras. The sumo era, which is the the Mazing era, the Getter Robo, the the villain of the week, a Super Robo, the mad scientist and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The real Robo, which is the Gundam-esque war story stuff. And then the modern era, like I don't want to say modern era, the Ava era. What?
I have watched Ava.
Oh, it's something.
I didn't really like it. I didn't like it at the beginning, then I liked the middle, and then it just got bad again. And I was like, Shinji's such a bad character.
What fucking cubicle wall are we missing?
I don't know. So I sat there and like blasted all of them trying to figure it out, and I'm not getting any kind of thing saying what it is.
Yeah, like that's all good. Like, oh, it's over here.
I was thinking it must be one of the inner ones because I was just shooting everything from outside. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, this one's kind of hard to see on the camera or on the video.
Clean Helter Shelter.
Honestly, I would say Gundam Wing kind of suffers from a problem of Gundam 00 is kind of like a remake of the story of Wing, and it just did a better job of it. Like,
so it's one of those ones where it's like, would even bother trying?
I mean, if you want to go back to see it for what it was and for the era, it's not awful, but it's like Gundam 00 just did it did a lot of the type of story beats that Wing did, but better.
Well, I just know that I originally, I started watching the, way back, I don't remember what made me stop watching, but I was watching the, one with the character who goes, the Berserker.
Oh, Iron Blood.
No, that definitely wasn't the name of it. Gundam Seed.
Oh. Yeah, which is supposed to be a remake of kind of the original. It did not live up to its own story.
I don't remember how much of it I watched.
Seed has a lot of conceptual problems that, hey, you know, the original did this, so we are, but didn't give a reason for it to happen kind of problem.
I got you.
Like in the original show, it's like the main character is Amuro, and it's like, all right, why is he able to keep up with all these like elite pilots and stuff like this? Oh, because the Gundam's that much better. You just see him like literally tank through like a bunch of base weapon fire. It's like, yeah, no, they literally can't hurt him right now. Where Seed, on the other hand, you know, puts its main character in a Gundam, but then it gives like, oh yeah, here's 4 enemy aces that literally stole 4 other Gundams in the same production line that were made with at the same time as your Gundam.
Oh, but he's a berserker, so that's all that matters. Like, why does berserk make you stronger?
It's like, he was a computer programmer. Why is he better than the genetically engineered superhuman pilots, like ace pilots?
Because the story needs him to be.
Yeah, like that. They give a reason later, but it's like,
He's a berserker. He has like a berserker gene.
kind of, honestly.
No, that was the reason.
Oh, the little seed thing you always see. Yeah, it's you kind of find out what that was later on. Well, like the whole story is like, you know, humans on Earth and the humans in the colonies are kind of having a war. The biggest reason being the humans in the colonies are,
Part machine.
well, no, they're technically genetically engineered. It's like they kind of have it has a bunch of bad publicity, but like they have basically everyone in the colonies uses eugenics like crazy. But at the same point, it's like, yeah, no, they are also, it's like, most 5-year-olds could do algebra up there. So the colonies started like advancing technologically much faster than the Earth, and the Earth got real scared of that, so they nuked one of them, so it started a war.
That sounds like, that sounds like humans.
Oh, by the way, the colonies are the bad guys.
Of course they are.
Because you know what the retaliation response was?
Super nukes.
No, they coated the Earth in a special field that prevented everybody from using nuclear weaponry.
Sounds like a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, but basically it's like, all right, you want to start a war? Okay, we're turning off the nukes.
That's our trump card.
Yeah, no, now you have to fight all of our super soldiers, like, one-on-one.
Damage accepted.
And see, like, that's why that was such a big thing of the main character. Like, he's also a colonist person, but wasn't part of, like, one of the rebellion groups. So, like, hey, this, genetically engineered superhuman is fucking crazy strong. We should keep him. Well, like, one of the things they finally get on later on, it's like, okay, why is this guy just so fucking strong? He actually is while the colonies did use, like, eugenics and genetic engineering a lot, they didn't, like, custom make a person. It's basically like, okay, we're gonna tweak this so he doesn't get knee pain. No ADD, no, like, mental disorders right off the bat. We're gonna get rid of that. like a lot of like they did for like eugenics was just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna take out like the defects that fuck with you.
Yeah, why is this? Why are these the bad guys again? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not humane.
How is that not? Oh yeah, making so people can reach their full potential and aren't sad isn't humane.
Yeah, it's like we're not tailoring people, like we're not trying to breed something out of them or something. It's like, no, it's like, hey, what if we get rid of diabetes?
But then how will the pharmaceutical companies make the money?
Funny enough, those are the villains in the second season.
I mean, remember Linkara's thing on Power Rangers that the final villain is capitalism?
Yeah. But at the yeah, it's like, okay, what was the like? Why was the main guy so like? Oh yeah, no, he wasn't like a genetically modified human. He's like the first attempt at a genetically engineered human, and they were making a soldier out of him.
And yet somehow he managed to just fall under the radar, even though something that important wouldn't just be ignored.
Well, it wasn't ignored. It was shut down because, like, even the, hey, we do modifications. We don't engineer people. We are very much against that concept. We don't make people for purpose. It's like, we just...
I mean, I get that, but since you already did it, I feel like you wouldn't just actively be like, alright, well, let's just not watch this person and see what happened.
Well, he was kind of being watched. He was just like, okay, we're just gonna move, because it was like he was like a newborn at that point. It's like, all right, we're just gonna go kick him over to the side here, put him out of the way, out of this small colony. Like, nobody expected a war to break out and him get dragged into it.
Yeah, the funny thing is like how his creation is sort of along the lines of like the plot for Halo as well.
Yeah.
Kind of how the Spartans come to be.
Yeah. Well, even they're very much like yeah, no, we're not gonna, no, we're not doing this kind of thing with people. Like, we don't like, once again, they did a very good job of like recreating that from the original Gundam, because everyone's like, oh, Zeon, they're Nazis, and if you ever watch like any of the old Gundam stuff, you know what their war was about?
Cake.
No, their colony wasn't allowed to have any kind of say on their taxation and how goods were shipped to and from them. So they decided to secede from the Earth Federation.
So America, cool.
Yep.
What?
No, it's like, yeah, it's like, that's it too. Yeah, no, it's very much it. Yeah, it's like, who are the villains? Well, it's Zeon. Oh yeah, they have that kind of Nazi. Yeah, they're heavy German too. Oh yeah, so what do they want? Oh, they wanted to have full control over how they were taxed and treated as people. What? Yeah, no, we don't allow that. You're part of the Federation. You do what the Federation says. What? Which, it's like that's one of the best things about Gundam. It's like, it very much goes into like, hey, war is bad and stupid most of the time. It's either run by a dictator or two forces that really just don't want to be left alone and don't fuck with each other. It doesn't.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and it does a very good job of bringing that across.
The whole concept that not both sides are like evil. It's kind of just there's evil people on both sides and good people on both sides, and they're just fighting what they care about.
Yeah, or it's like the people in control are. Yeah, no, some of them are just like dictator assholes. Which, that never happens in the real world, right?
No, never. I'd never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, no dictatorial, militaristic governments ever just goes around invading their neighbor.
No. there's a there definitely isn't like China definitely doesn't have like 2% of its population have Genghis Khan's genes in it.
Yep.
Humanity is dumb.
Well, we just happen to let like people who get in charge that honestly should not be every so often.
That's because evil people are very charismatic.
But not all the time. It's just they're the ones that care the most about getting the power, so they will often work the hardest to get it. Are you at the top like right now?
Yep.
Okay. I was walking up the ladder like there's another line to this. It was just like wait.
Yeah, I went up the slide.
Yeah, that's what I figured you did.
There's a lot of rust on this thing.
Is it rust or grime?
I don't know.
The majority of this looks like grime. Oh, fuck. No, it's like that's the real robot genre in itself. Then the Ava genre is more about man and machine and what that means overall. I guess the existentialism of humans and technology.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with that in real life. So I just tried the metal cleaner on the grime, hoping that, like, my thought on this was I was trying to do this one a little differently, like the way you would be doing it. Like, instead of doing, like, all the fine details and just, like, maximizing one thing in one spot, I thought I would try and get this first layer off, and then try, like, the spray on the smaller layer, or on the thing below it, see if I can't get a big portion of it in, like, one giant go. But it wasn't coming off at all, so I don't know if the grime counts as something different.
I think this is plastic, not metal.
It like when you're shooting it, it'll tell you what it is underneath the thing.
Oh, it does. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, because dang, this is like I do the thing that shows me like how much is left, and it's like holy crap. Just on this bell thing, it's like even though I've covered the whole thing and got rid of like all the grime, all the stuff underneath of it's still there. And it's like I wanted to see if I could like destroy it faster.
Yeah.
Since again, it has to go back to like just the yellow one again. It's like I wanted to see if I could like do bigger waves, like for the broader area.
Yeah, no, I'm actually using the green one, kind of going up doing the sides, and we'll probably get the detail work later. The green seems to be doing good. Like I'm actually like popping stuff off on this one fairly easy. I don't know. It's like that's always kind of what I've liked about the mech genre because like I love war stories, I love robotics and machinery, and especially giant ones.
I've never cared that much for it.
Yeah, like
The
there's
concept, it's like in One Piece how like like they have the whole thing. I like the idea in One Piece where like they're bringing in the giant robots and stuff, but it's like I like the idea that technology can't surpass like things like hockey and superpower,
Yeah.
But in their universe it's happening. And it's like, man, the idea that like we could be in a world where superpowers are real, and yet technology still manages to surpass freaking superpowers. Like that's so not fun.
All right, that's the Lex Luthor mentality.
What? Isn't he? No, he's trying to surpass superpowers though.
Yeah, with technology. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. It's like it's so like superpowers are so cool, and you just want to make it, and you just want to syndrome it up and make everyone the same.
I don't know. I always liked the concept of humanity can always push past even the power of a god with technology.
And I like the idea of them, like, I like the idea of them, like more of a Final Fantasy thing where they surpass the power of a god with their own power, as
Yep.
opposed to technology. Because technology can be used by anyone.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I like. It's the gun concept. It's the great equalizer.
Yeah, if there's one thing like, especially with like when you see like AI art and stuff like that, there shouldn't be a great equalizer. Some people should not have things.
No, everyone should be a masterful artist.
No, we could already see what happened when we let everyone have it. There's just millions and millions of people like trying to just use it to make money, as opposed to make something awesome.
Yep.
I mean, I do see a lot of people like posting things are awesome, like, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, the scammers just got a bunch of tools. It's like, great.
Yeah.
You just took away like people's talent and hard work.
Yeah, you can blame the government for not wanting to infringe on businesses for a while there.
Well, I know that in Europe they posted laws, and all the ones you have to like things like that Midjourney them have to show what they use to train on now,
Yeah.
and so to protect copyright. So essentially, what's going to end up happening is anyone like those ones are going to end up having to be like, oh well, you're going to have to show what you used here, and people will be like, hey, I didn't give you permission, take that out. Now the problem will be is like they'll be like, take that out, like, well, it's already trained, so it knows it, so it doesn't need to be in there anymore. At least I think that's how that works. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it's a little weird on that one. I'm not entirely sure on that. Like I've looked at I typically have an AI I do to run stuff every so often, but the odd-line ones outpaced it so quickly. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not gonna bother to keep up with this damn thing.
Yeah, I had done that in the beginning when I wanted to test it out. But the general concept was like, I've been told that like you can't just take it out. Like if you take it out, it's not like it's gonna just forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you took away, let's just say your model was in there. If they just took out all your every single image of your model, it should still know you because it learned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to end up being the case, but I'm not 100% sure. Realistically, I would probably try and make a thing to the government in that case, like, well, we took it out, but their thing can still use it, so what difference does it make? So you need to make them delete it, that part of the memory.
Yep.
I feel like if it, depending on what happens, they might be like, all right, you just have to make these things from scratch again, which realistically wouldn't be too difficult, but it'd be like, oh, well, you can't use this, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that'll be the case in Europe. I don't think in other countries. I don't think it'll happen in America because that would hurt big business, and big business controls our country. So
Yeah, it does. Well, here's the thing. Because of them having to hit a global market, if Europe passes those laws, that means they can't use that product in Europe, which is too big of a cut. So that means they do have to modify their plans, and they do adjust around that.
I feel like that's only. I don't think it does anything about the product. I think it only means you can't use it there. But if you make it in America, you could probably still sell the final product there.
Yeah, but that's cutting in the profit margins then.
Well, no, you just have to make this stuff in America and sell the final product in Europe.
Yeah, okay, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that end, but it would be a lot harder. And Europe's finally just because Europe might get antsy about that. Because the EU has been getting real fucking uppity when it comes to technology recently. They finally like, hey, wait, this is a front we need to pay attention to. Like,
yeah, man, wouldn't it be amazing if our stupid government would actually pay attention to something other than we hate the gays,
yeah,
trans people, and Mexicans.
Yeah,
I kind of would just want to be like, go on television and be like, all right, so all of you rednecks, I want you all to understand, even if we made this like a pure white Christian country, you ought to all still be at the bottom. We can get rid of every other ethnicity and stuff, and you're still going to be poor and at the bottom because it has nothing to do with Mexicans. It's because you all suck.
Yeah.
As human beings, you're stupid, ignorant morons who can't think for yourself, and you're untrained and you are good at nothing. And yeah, you're never. No matter what we do, you're not making it to the top because you suck.
Yeah. Well, it's also a thing. So much of our government doesn't understand how tech. Like it was that thing with I was saying with Florida. They want to ban everyone under the age of 14. It's like, what
Okay,
does
so
this?
here's the thing. I hate Ron DeSantis. He's a piece of trash. But and no, that won't work. But at the very least, there's good sentiment there.
The problem is, it's like this isn't this. This is going to hurt something. It's not going to stop the fucking problem in any way, shape, or form, but it is going to hurt something.
I know, but it's also one of those things where, look, there is no actual way to solve the problem. But at the very least, if you could, at least making an effort matters, in my opinion.
Not when it harms stuff. Like I honestly, I don't know yet, but like there's been so many. It's like here's two of the things I love to bring up. It's like in the '80s there was a big push against, like it's still going repeatedly, but there was a massive push against the video games to, like, you know,
Yeah.
They had to put a label on them. It's like increased chance of violence, sex, and drug use, like enforced by the U.S. government. And you know what that did to game sales?
Drop them.
Spiked them.
That's fair.
It's like
I don't know. I get what you're saying, but it's like
yeah. Oh, they wanted to curb like little kids from playing these violent video games. Yeah. What did their thing do? Oh, it increased the amount of little kids playing violent video games drastically.
Well, you know what? That's also on the parents. When I was a kid, I wanted to buy Conker's Bad Fur Day because I played it at my friend's house, and I loved it. But I didn't play any of the story. I just played the multiplayer. Yeah, the story had a lot more. Yeah, I didn't know that though.
I'm very much aware of that game.
But when I when I went to buy it, the clerk was like, "You have to have your mom here to buy this for you." And I was like, "Okay." And I went and got her, and she's like, "Well, why is this rated mature?" Because I didn't really I didn't really know that there was a rating system for games. Honestly, I was at that age, and he told my mom exactly what was in that game, and she was like, "Oh yeah, hell no."
Yeah. Or here's the one I like the most fun at. Do you remember the Dare program?
Yep.
Okay, you remember how the biggest thing about that was anti-drug use and anti-smoking, right?
Yep.
It increased, like, children that were a part of that were more likely to smoke because of it.
It's funny. See, I'm one of those people. I'm different because like I'm one of those people who that kind of stuff actually worked on. Like I saw it was like, oh, that seems like a bad thing, so I just won't do it.
Oh, I can understand that, but at the same point, it's like, you know, this actually increased the amount of children smoking.
Why though? Like, what made them like? See, that's one thing I like. So, my grandparents smoked, and I hated the smell, and I hated everything about it. So it was always a deterrent for me. And I just thought is like when you see all those pictures of what happens to your lungs, like, why would you like what about them showing it to you makes you go, man, screw like I understand the whole screw the man type thing, fight the system, but like this isn't one of those situations. It's like, hey, this is poison, and it's gonna end badly for you.
The problem was it was so poorly put together, and like, did you remember how utterly campy and jokey and like, oh my god, these are the lamest people ever, right?
I remember none of that, honestly. All I remember is the t-shirts.
it was very, it's like, it very much was that, and it was like, oh yeah, no, the cool kids smoke, and you get to pick, and you're part of the Dare losers, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be a part of those dumbasses. The program itself was so lame, it encouraged kids to smoke, to be cool.
Well, in this particular situation, kids are already all on social media, so...
Yeah, like I said, I I like I said, I do like it when the government does good, but at the same point, that's a lot of power you're throwing around, and if you're not throwing it around carefully, especially when it comes to like children and stuff like that, it backfires so hard.
I know, but they have to try something to fix things. Things are getting worse, and social media is definitely a part of the problem.
Yeah. But it's like they'll do anything except learn about it. Like they'll throw money at like, okay, let's just get rid of it. And
They are a bunch of old. They are a bunch of old people.
it's like that's been the government's, especially the U.S. government's response for so long, and that response does not work. It has only ever backfired.
Again, our government's run by really old people. It's like their whole thing we're gonna they're not even trying to get rid of TikTok to get rid of because it's a problem. They just want to be able to take all the money from it. It's like, man, look at the successful. But like they're usually saying like, oh, they're risking people's information. Bull. You just want the money because it's making so much.
Who has critical information on TikTok that's not like stupid enough to get it stolen to begin with?
I mean, to be fair, you could essentially like use it as a tracking thing. Like I didn't put any of my stuff on TikTok, but my sister did. So I got recommended her, and then she got recommended to me because she had her phone number in there, and it took her to my stuff, even though I didn't have my phone number. So realistically, you could use it for tracking people. Like if the idea is if you used it and saw which one it was, you'd be like, oh, well here is the important government official. This is where they are, but realistically, they shouldn't have TikTok on important government phones. So, you know.
Oh, just call me ice. Satisfying to watch? Yeah, this is pretty fun.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, nice. Have you ever played this before? You enjoy this game?
It's been very relaxing.
Also, welcome.
Yep.
This is it's like I honestly didn't think I was gonna like this game as much as I do. I was like, seems like it's kind of boring, but then the idea of playing, like doing the Final Fantasy VII, you just enjoy watching it. Yeah, it's oddly chill.
The dad game is becoming a genre for a reason.
Yeah, I normally prefer fast-paced, high-octane games, but this is just a nice change of pace every now and then.
Sit back, chill, talk about weird shit.
Yeah, I like my mind just go from one topic to the other without really caring.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable.
But Kigo will tell us about his vacation or something when he gets back.
We're probably going to be on either Midgar or maybe Warhammer at that point.
So he should be back in like 2 weeks. He said he'd be back on the 8th, I guess.
Okay,
And,
so we'll have 2. So we might finish this by then, actually, even the DLC stuff.
I actually looked it up last night. All of those things, the DLC and everything, are like 2 to 3 hours themselves.
Yeah. Well, I know the Warhammer one's like 5, so...
Yeah,
well, that's single player, though, not multiplayer.
Still, this, like, I thought this, we both thought this was only going to take us like a few hours to beat, and here's like, what, our 4th time playing?
Yeah.
We're only like 75% through the game. The little story mode thing has like a little like thing around it showing like how far you are on the career.
Okay. Yeah, the main story apparently, a lot more than I thought it was going to have. I will definitely say that.
Just called the Ice says Warhammer takes a while to complete.
Yeah, like I said, I've heard 5 hours in that one.
That's fine. But he will be here for that one, so, I mean, it'll probably be faster with 3 people than 2.
Yep.
Like I said at the beginning.
Is the sun setting of this one, or was that like always at that angle?
I'm not sure. I know that I kind of love how the what's it called? Like how creative these environments are, despite the fact that there's absolutely no way they'd be this destroyed.
Oh, that's because they've been getting rained down with volcanic ash.
Yeah, but how come the little building next to it is fine?
It's a video game.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
All right, there's the carousel we cleaned earlier on. Maybe other crews are just doing it, beating us to this.
It's possible. This trying to do the metal on here. Like these sprays don't really seem like they do much.
Yeah. Although I will say, it's like when we get down to like the last detail work, I do start to get a little irritated with it.
Yeah, sometimes, but it depends on like the idea, like, oh, you got to get like one little like spot that you can't find. Extension? Which extension?
About on your probably power washer.
Refill. So, okay, I'm gonna bring that up. Oh, you know what? It is working perfectly fine. I'm just stupid because the thing is, like, I wish it made a sound when it actually runs out. Yay, that actually worked pretty well. You're right, Ice. I was just being dumb.
So par for the course.
Exactly. I mean, wait a minute.
Yep. You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, so I know you're a fairly big Turtles fan. Have you ever gotten into any of the Transformers stuff?
Nope.
Oh.
I know that they had the one crossover, but that crossover didn't actually like it was a crossover name alone.
Yeah, like, the Transformers are probably right next to the Turtles, and how many weird things they've crossed over with over the years.
Well, in this case, they had this weird crossover for the IDW Turtles called Invasion, and it was just kind of like something was happening across all the books, but none of them like actually interacted with each other.
Yeah.
Undercover Turtle, that's cool. That's right, I am an Undercover Turtle. Who told you? Agent, are you telling people my secrets again?
I don't tell them secrets. I sell them secrets.
And you're not cutting me in on the money?
What money?
How can you sell secrets and not make money?
Very tricky like.
That's like the opposite of an entrepreneur. No, I haven't. Ironically, Transformers is one of those series I never really got it. Okay, so like it's a silly thing with Transformers for me. Growing up, I the first time I ever ran into Transformers, right? I'm watching it, and my little sister got left unattended for like 10 minutes, or not even 10 minutes. My dad had gone to the bathroom and had to walked away from her, and she put a fork through her finger somehow. So we had to rush her to the hospital. So basically, I ended up not getting to watch Transformers, and I never found it again until I was much older when like Beast Wars came on, and I just didn't care much.
Well, see, Beast Wars is a series that got me into it.
That does not surprise me.
Wait, why does that one not surprise you?
Why would it surprise me? You like Beast Stars and Beast Everything. Why would the robot mech animals not be your thing?
You know, now that you say it like that, I'm starting to see how my childish mind was formed more accurately over the years. Like, damn, I was predisposed to be a furry, wasn't I?
Yep. Undercover Turtle never get to evolve into Transformers. That's a de-evolution, man. The turtles are way more powerful.
Oh, dude, you're not.
No, I know that. I know the Transformers lore.
It's like, oh, I'm just saying, like
I
the,
saw-
the fandoms too. It's like the Transformers fucking fandom is, oh my god, rabid.
I know. I saw the death battles with Transformers where they fought Frieza.
Why? That was so stupid.
Betrayal.
Like why?
Why what?
Like, why have a Transformer like those don't feel like they match, other than like color and like, yeah, they're both evil villains.
Wait a second. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the virtual world, Ice. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Just so you know, well, right. So the way the channel works is like me and Agent are playing Heroes on Friday. Under normal circumstances, like we play with Agent every now and then, but like usually it's me and my friend Kigu, and we tend to We tend to like just beat games. Like, if you look under my profile, you'll see a list of all the games I've beaten on this channel, and we are all about beating games. This is technically a game we can beat, which is funny.
Yep.
But I appreciate it.
Yep. You beat a couple games with me at this point, like just me and you.
Yeah, I think about. So you and me beat 30XX.
Yep.
Like the Mega Man one. Have we beaten anything else? Just the two of us?
That might be it for the moment. Although we also did a bunch of stuff like the single player that worked at roughly the same time. Yeah. No, but we're all classic nerds here, although everyone is a nerd on a kind of different thing.
Pretty much. We've ironically very little common ground in that sense.
Yep. Although, like, we all appreciate each other's franchises, though. It's not like mine's better than yours. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's that franchise. I really like the concept on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Transformers. I remember having like, what was it the Transformers toys from McDonald's as a kid, and I really liked them.
Like, it's a really cool franchise, and God, funny enough, like over the years, like who I like the most has really changed. It's like
I make that same argument for Ninja Turtles. I like constantly switched who my favorite turtle was.
Oh yeah, who do you like currently have, and like what's it switched over to?
Leonardo. Leonardo's the best, in my opinion, when it comes to the IDW series.
Yep. You might
I like the IDW series the best. He also had like an arc where he turned evil, so
you might not like Rise then, because Leo's the other comic relief in that.
fine. I mean, it's like I've switched a bunch of times. Like when I was a little kid, I liked Donnie the most because I used him in the games, and I switched between him and Wrath a lot.
Mid-max. Funny enough, in Rise, Wrath's leader.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that. The only one I haven't, the only one I've never actually had as my favorite was Mikey, ironically. Never been Mikey.
Never liked the party guy.
Not much, but like he's actually really good in the IDW series.
Oh, he's so like Last Ronin like spiked Mikey up so much.
Well, I mean, Last Ronin isn't a part of the like main IDW canon.
I know, but that's still Mikey.
I know, but I like IDW Mikey because he's very, very passionate. Flying scaffolding. Oh yeah, I scared Agent earlier when I walked the scaffolding by him. He was not expecting it.
Just like, oh fuck, peripheral vision.
Like, Mikey is extremely, extremely caring. Like, they made him more than just a goofball in the newer ones. He's really passionate about taking care of people.
Yeah. That might have come from the CGI Nickelodeon one. Because they gave him a lot more of that personality in that one, too.
That was before that. Mikey from Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles. Tell us, Ice, what's your favorite franchise? We're just talking about just jumping around. What's your favorite franchise?
Yep. because I was gonna say for me, it's the longest time, like my all-time favorite in Transformers was Optimus, but over the years it's kind of switched to Megatron.
To the villain.
Well, it's like initially I kind of just like, oh, I liked the hero, I liked like all the good guys, and it's like I got older and it's like, you know what, I kind of appreciate Megatron. It's like he is, you know, just the basic gunmetal gray villain at all times. You know, he is the I'm going to come in here and just stomp everyone into the dirt, and it's going to take Optimus, you know, to come out and stop me. It's like, not because he was like this. And then it's like, I started to like it even more because he became, it's like, oh, why is Megatron so strong? It's like, oh, he's a you know, a gladiator, this or that. It's like, he just worked his way up to being this powerful. Why is Optimus so strong? Well, you see, he has the sacred power of the primes to back him up and give him guidance. It's like, oh, so Prime has to rely on like all these ancient mystical powers where like Megatron just shows up and like if you're not rocking some ancient super weapon, he just cleans your fucking clock.
You had no clue about any of that stuff. You just assumed I was talking about being a turtle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like that song, I love being a turtle.
Yeah.
You see, like that theme song. People give it too much hate. It's fun.
Oh no, the Turtles has always had like good music. Okay, I would say it's always had music that's been fun.
And I think I was watching that video earlier, and they made a good point. It's like, just that concept that, like, you know, when you really think about it, just the concept of the Ninja Turtles is just insane.
What part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like did it like spring nuts to you right off the bat?
I was a little kid. I never questioned it until I was an adult and people said it.
It's like, oh yeah, that is kind of goofy, isn't it?
Yeah, but most things in the 90s were. That's what made it fun.
Yeah, don't argue that.
I mean, the video they were talking about earlier, they used like the counterpoint of the Smurfs, and it's like, no, yeah, that's a good point. They also had like singing chipmunks, singing Christmas songs.
I think that was the 80s, to be fair.
I don't know, man.
Might have been the 70s even. You want to go back like to the original shit?
See, I think the reason like we see so many remakes nowadays is because aside from the fact that people from the 90s are the ones with the money now, so they're like nostalgia chasing. It's also the concept that like they were more willing to take risks back then, so things are more goofy and it's just kind of more. So that's why they know it's more fun because they already know there's successful options.
Yeah. Definitely agree with on that end. And this one's a lot more forgiving than the previous ones.
I don't know, I'm just sitting here trying to just get these stairs for a little while and I am not having any success with it. So I'm just trying to see if I can use the metal cleaner to just kind of hit a bunch of it at once. And I am failing real hard. Nope, that's just wasting spray.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's all pretty bad out there.
What is?
Like the outer railing at the top here.
Oh yeah, I think I couldn't reach that earlier.
Yeah. But no, it's like like that also prepped him up for like Megatron for me, and then I got to the IDW series where they do a post-war series, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you kind of get to see like Megatron like when he's not trying to conquer the universe, and he was just kind of on
Nope.
I think I talked to you before. Where, like they do a redemption arc, like they show Megatron on a planet, like has a statue of like every living Transformer on it. Like, and underneath the feet of every statue is like there's a flower, and every flower represents every like other Transformer they've killed. And he gets to his statue, and it's just like a field as far as the eye can see of flowers.
Yes, these stairs are definitely misbehaving.
Yeah.
I don't get why. I can't seem to get. Can't seem to get them. Come on. Who is putting the flowers there? How would they even know?
Oh, I see where it is.
Nice. It was underneath that little bottom railing, wasn't it?
Yep.
They just found it on my side too. Alright. Where do we need to go now?
There's a bunch of little stuff all over. Still.
Let's see, we got the slide. Oh, slide railing. So the slide railing is like, I guess, made up of different spots, different parts. Oh, I got the slide railing. Okay, cool. I hit something else a couple seconds ago. Third. Okay. Third panel something?
Yep.
There we go. Let's see. Railings. Railing posts. Oh, lights.
And, although at the same time, like we've also been getting a lot of new experimental shows off YouTube, like Murder Drones dropped their 7th episode yesterday, and oh my god, am I loving that series so much.
You know what? I don't actually tend to watch stuff like that on YouTube very much. I tend to watch, like, more... I don't know. I tend to watch mostly, like, gaming-related stuff, like, newsy kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Because most of the time, like, if I'm on YouTube, I'm not really, like, paying that much attention to what I'm doing. Like, I'll listen to it at work, but I can't be sitting there watching.
Sure you can. You just shouldn't be.
I mean, I do that sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I am not a good employee.
Well, they should pay you more. Then you might be good.
I mean, I did okay.
Yep. That's always my response. Like, all right, you want a high-end employee, then it requires high-end pay.
I work for the state, so...
Yeah.
Happen.
Hey, you'll get a pension eventually, right?
Apparently. Where the heck are the last of these things at?
Oh, we're not even on the home stretch yet. Shit.
Pretty close, though.
Slide frame. Yeah, that's going to be a bit on that one.
Huzzah.
Oh, don't tell me that's, oh, that's going to be irritating.
What?
Look. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind.
sometimes I hit some of these things. I'm like, what am I looking at here? What is the thing I'm supposed to be like spraying down?
Slide frame is the ones we have the most of right now.
I know, but I'm in like one where I found like the thing, but I can't tell like frame it. It's one of those ones where it's like I can't see what it is I'm trying to hit.
Yep.
Part of it? No.
Panels.
Come on. Hit it. Hit it. See, I don't know what I'm missing on this one. I just sprayed the whole thing on with the metal, and it's like still not catching it. Not feel complete until succeeding cleaning this level. Alright, we're going to. We're at 99%.
Yeah, we only have a bit left. It's
always very satisfying to see like that like end part where it shows you cleaning the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
One right here. Trying to see if I can't get it without falling. Come on. Ah, no. It's a good thing there's no fall damage in this game.
Yes, fall damage on my power wash simulator.
Can't get the little railing somehow. Yeah, look at that, man.
Alright, second here.
What am I aiming at? Just saw where it hit. So bad at this. Keeps happening over and over. I can't see where it is. There it is, top frame. Okay. What the heck is it there, the top frame? Power wash the buildings. Like, power wash the building so thoroughly, I'm surprised the whole building is great. I mean, realistically speaking, the amount of denting we would have done this building. We still have left to clean. So signposts, side frames, top frame, or frames. vertical frame is on the bottom. I know that much. What signpost, though? This one? Oh, yeah, it's this one. But part of this isn't clean.
Come on, get done. Well, there it is. All right, what else we got here?
Like, this is the part where, like, it'd be really useful if the, like, dirt hinting thing came up, you know? But you can't see it because it's always so small. There we go. Alright, top frames, vertical frame. Oop.
I'm trying to find the top frame right now.
Alright, I found the vertical frame, but I was trying it earlier and I could not get this vertical frame to get clean. I'm not really sure what I'm missing here. Okay, so it goes all the way up. I thought we were both just blasting the crap out of this thing and we just can't seem to hit it.
There we go.
Side frames.
Oh, I just saw it. It's like right around here somewhere.
Oh, yeah, just...
There it is.
Nice. I like that we could go up the slide.
Yep. Oh, that felt good.
I wonder if there's anything we can buy to help.
Probably just upgrades and attachments for that.
Yep, extra long extension and... Dang, they are expensive. Holy crap.
Yeah, the final upgrades always are.
Okay, I kind of like this. A private jet plane.
Yeah, this will probably be about it, too.
It's a shame. We're not even at the 75 mark either.
Really?
Yeah, we're like just on the cusp of it.
The fuck is this laser at the bottom underneath it?
You gotta fire it. It's a laser.
Yeah, I'll start on the other side. Yeah, the wide spray is pretty much worthless.
I'm gonna try my super long extender thing. I do like the breaks from the big building into these vehicle things.
I really wouldn't call this one smaller though, but yeah.
More condensed, where we don't have to like get on top of like get on the scaffold.
Yeah, where you're trying to work your way around it isn't the major problem you have to figure out.
Exactly. Sounds soapy coming from your side.
I'm using the green extension. With the extended nozzle.
Is it working?
Yeah. Like there's a bunch of like minor detail that it's not quite getting, but like it's getting rid of all like the
getting rid of a lot of upper level grime, but it almost kind of defeats the point when you just pass over it one time with the yellow and get all that stuff too.
Yep.
The metal cleaner actually lets you hit the bigger areas, but I do believe there's like a limit to how much you can get. So even if you have the money for it, I think there's like kind of a limit how many you can technically buy in the game. So you can't just go, I'm just gonna buy a bunch and just fast track it, you know?
Yep.
Also, even though it shows a bigger area, it's not actually like, that's not actually how much it cleans. So I just kept spamming like the dirt vision to see exactly how much we're getting.
Yeah, you kind of end up doing that, don't you? Oh.
Imagine if you had a superpower and it was just being able to see dirt.
Oh, I would hate that so much.
I mean, you can turn it on and off, I guess, but it's like, imagine you're in a world with like My Hero Academia kind of quirks, and what you got was dirt vision.
Just walk into a hotel room, walk out. Nope.
Ice wants to have dirt vision, don't you, Ice?
Yep.
Like I've never watched Invader Zim much, but didn't they have an episode where Invader Zim like found out germs and he made something that let him see germs and he was just getting attacked by them?
Just constantly like, oh dear mother of God, this world's disgusting. Oh.
Does this plane have a laser on it?
That's what I said earlier.
You know what? I didn't realize that's what you were talking about at first. And I cleaned it off, and like little energy circles around it, like the purple on there is dirt.
And it's just like, well, wait, is this a? You know, honestly, it kind of I've recently been playing Evil Geniuses on stream, which is like a evil layer building game.
Yeah.
And it's like this plane feels like something out of that.
I played a game similar to that once. I can't remember what it's called. But it was like the premise was the same, where you build a dungeon and like get people to come through it.
No, there are a couple games in that. Evil Geniuses is more like you're building like a James Bond villain. It's like a city builder, only you're building a super villain layer.
Yeah, I've always thought about doing something like that before. That was like a game idea I had at one point.
Oh, the game is not put together great. It's one of those things where it's like a lot of the small details feel off.
I understand that. Death by 1,000 cuts. I think those kind of games are always like the saddest ones to see. The ones that are like, it's a good idea and like it's not one problem. It's like a whole bunch of little problems that end up ruining the game.
Yep.
I always hate when that happens.
That in that game eats up like an extraordinary amount of power. Like my PC gets hot when I play that game. And I can't tell you why.
Poor optimization, I guess.
Like really poor too, I'm guessing. Because like this game, like even streaming it, like I don't get heat off my rig. That game without streaming it, like my graphics card's getting close to 70 Celsius.
Dang.
Like I pulled it up after like a long session. I was like sitting at like 67, 68 Celsius, and I was like, what the fuck? And like I've had like a couple of the open world or the bigger games do that before on me, and it's just like understandable. It's like completely reason. It's like, but it's like this is a city builder. These games aren't meant to be like graphically intense. What the fuck is going on? Unfortunately, what it is a lot of like the sim or city builder games are like, oh hey, we're gonna render every character on screen at all times. But there's like 300. Did you move?
What?
Was, I just got at a weird angle all of a sudden. But it's like there's like 300 characters on screen right now. It's like you can't render all of them, guys. Come on.
Yes, we can. We have your power.
I mean, that's what got City Skylines in trouble. It's like they tried doing that on that scale, and it's just like even streamers who had like the monster PCs were like, "Yeah, I'm getting chugged." Which, you know, normally only happens with Japanese developers, but
I mean, American developers don't exactly like optimize their stuff either.
it's like we're getting really bad at it, but we used to be fairly good. It's like Japanese develop. It's like, what was it like Dragon's Dogma? It's like you have to play on mid settings with like the newest Nvidia card.
Well, so I remember, what is it, what was before Skyrim? Oblivion?
Yeah,
My friend was making a mod for it.
that's Bethesda though. Like, they've always
Yeah,
been
but-
shit.
We saw their like optimization for the model, and we're like, wow, this is terrible. This is a pro company?
Yeah. But you also have things like Square porting like fucking Chrono Trigger over to Steam, and it's like that game doesn't run.
Well, I mean, did you hear about like with the whole with Star Wars recently?
Oh yeah, it's that's
Like
Embracer
64?
Group. Yeah, it's Embracer Group panicking though.
It's 64 gigs for 2 PS2 games.
Yeah.
Like they released the original version, it was only like less than a gig.
Well,
Something is wrong
the
there.
original version are on Steam and like it combined. Still, like the ones like the ones that aren't new release are like 20 gig, I think,
I have to look.
like combined
I
maybe.
do have it. Oh yeah.
Which was the other weird thing. 'Cause it's like, oh yeah, buy what was it Battlefront like remaster, and it's like, what's remastered about this?
They probably just upscaled the textures with AI.
I don't think they did that even, honestly.
They want you to pay them money.
Yeah, I'll give them that much.
I feel bad. I saw this thing. I know that EA shadow dropped a bunch of like all their Command and Conquer games recently.
Oh yeah, I bought that actually.
Yeah, but I saw this one person like Twitter was saying like they were so sad they had been working on a game for like 4 years and it was on the it was on the I think they had just released it was on the top of the Steam page and then then EA doing their million like all those games shadow dropping all at once pushed their game all the way to the bottom of the new list. So basically they didn't they missed out on a lot of opportunity to get seen.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Although to be fair, because they got buried so hard, it gave them more publicity. So you can't feel too bad for them.
I mean, assuming we're talking about the same person, it wasn't someone else.
Yeah, no, because I think I saw a couple of my guys. Oh, I watched covering that.
I don't know. I just saw someone talking about like they were the actual dev, so I don't know.
I think initially, I think though because they got recovered for that. That's actually a series I've been kind of wanting to go through again. Is the Command and Conquer.
I played a little bit of that when I was a kid.
Oh, those games are so fucking fun. Like their stories are so goofy.
When I was a kid, I think I just played one of the ones online, and I watched my friend play one. I never understood what was happening. I just played the online. It was kind of laggy, dial-up.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything about them.
Actually, I think this plane's taking longer than the goddamn slide was.
I don't know.
This stuff is caked down here.
I mean, we expect it's Boeing. But
Oh, I remember when they were known for being quality planes.
I think I ever rode one. I was always cheaping out and taking Southwest. I haven't been on a plane in like almost a decade now.
Well, even then, you were probably still riding in a Boeing.
I know. I used to like travel back and forth in college to like taking a 6-hour drive to visit my family, just take a 30-minute plane ride.
Oh, is that back when planes were dirt cheap to fly on?
We'd wait till they had the Southwest would have the sales for good round trips. Why? What are they now?
I've heard it's getting pricey again. Because airliners have been losing out on people traveling because nobody wants to travel anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, why would you want to travel? There are people out there.
Yep. And the internet lets you go places. That and traveling takes money.
I actually found out that there's an anime convention like an hour away from me next month, so I'm going to that.
Yeah, I've got one about like that here not too long in my home city. Although,
Apparently, this one's been there for a while, and I just like I kept seeing it when I'd go to a game convention and like advertising it, and for whatever reason, my brain just never registered that it's near me, so I just never went.
yeah.
But then I saw someone talking about it on Reddit, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Although I mean,
Like,
I've been getting a kick out of it recently because so 2 weeks ago, St. Patrick's Day, right?
yeah,
The week after that, we have a major brewery in our like globally recognized like brewery company in my city, and that week, the week after, is when they start like ramping up production for the summer. So what they do is they like cover the whole like area and like, hey, we're just gonna give everybody like cheap beer. So like all the stores are just like you walk in and there's just piles and piles of like Coronas for like nothing. So it turns it into like a second drinking holiday weekend, and now we're on Easter, which is also a very heavily drinking holiday weekend where I'm at. So it's like we have.
I feel like it shouldn't be.
It's
Uh,
it,
my biggest problem with Easter is that I really like Easter chocolate, like way too much, so I just keep buying more and more of it.
yeah, Reese eggs are a fucking bane.
I just like how hollow and solid chocolate is. It's just
Yeah. So it's like we've had 3 weeks of just being slushed.
I'm like, on the one hand, I'm happy because I won't be tempted by the chocolate, but on the other hand, I'll be sad because there'll be no chocolate.
Yep. Oh, what's the next holiday after this?
I don't know. Nothing important.
Either Labor Day or Memorial Day, whatever comes first. I always forget.
It sucks. All the students and teachers get to have next week off, but I have to go to work.
And do what?
Exactly. That's the problem. I said to my manager, like, what do you even want me to do? Like, I'm all caught up on my stuff. And he's like, and he's sitting there going, yeah, I gotta come up with stuff you guys to do. And then, like, my big manager took the whole week off. And then, the other one's gonna be gone tomorrow. And I said, do you want me to just, like, walk around the school and do this stuff? And I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna walk around, but I'm mostly just gonna, like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna mostly be chilling the majority of the time.
You want to know what a day in my life would be like?
No, I still have, like, so the thing is there's security cameras, so it's like they would know if I was doing nothing.
Yeah, but they don't actually watch them.
Oh, they do, sometimes. Our old manager there's a major issue with our old manager constantly, like, watching the security cameras to make sure everyone's working.
Oh, did he get in trouble for that?
Did he get in trouble? No.
Oh.
No one did. Just the stress of the job just got to him, so he just kind of quit.
Yeah, because he was trying to micromanage people.
Yep. Remember one time me and my one buddy were working on something, and we were like the best two employees, right? The most, and he messaged us and goes, "Hey, you should be doing it this way." And we're like, "What?" He's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, he was sitting there watching us on the security camera.
Yep. I honestly think that's like a problem like a lot of people in management have. It's they want to be hands-on and do stuff, and it's like a good upper manager is not hands-on anymore.
Well, he wasn't an upper manager; he's a lower manager. But and it was his first time being a manager.
Oh, so he was in the process of I should be in control of everything.
Yeah, he did kind of run it that way at times. It didn't work on me. I gave him crap. So.
Oh yeah, it's I've had to be a manager enough. Like it's like, no, as a manager, your only goal is to make sure projects are getting done and aren't interfering with other projects. It's like, other than that, leave people to do their thing. It's
well,
like
we have a few employees who are extraordinarily dumb and being left to do their own thing is not a good strategy for them.
Well, it's like those people you keep on, but it's like if it's somebody, it's like, okay, I can put these people over here, and this job will get done in the time I need it done by.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, like
that's why my current manager leaves me alone. He just lets me kind of do what I want. And I'm sure he knows. I know he's walked by and seen me just sitting there watching YouTube before. I know he has. He doesn't say anything because I put out the most numbers and get the most stuff done. So it's like, if you could sit there and work on YouTube and get all this other crap done, then or watch YouTube while doing it, then like whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
That seems to be everyone's consensus on me.
Yeah, but that's very much what it should be. It's like, as long as the numbers are done in the timely manner, it's like. But then you also have people. It's like, well, no, you should be. If they're gonna get done, that means you need to get more work out of them.
Yeah, that's why I stopped trying to do that. Fuelage is a pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I'm not really sure what's considered a fuelage though. Is that just like, what exactly is that?
The fuselage.
Yeah.
That's the main body of the paint. It's basically the hull of the plane. Oh my god, this landing gear is fucking. Oh, I hate this. I hate these so much.
So can you actually power wash rust off of stuff? Is that actually a thing?
Yes. That's basically what sandblasting is. Because rust is an expansion on top of the metal that slowly eats into it. So by scraping the top layer off, it'll actually get rid of the rust.
Interesting.
That's why, like, back when I did sandblasting, a lot of the times our paint guys would let the fresh metal rust just a tiny bit so the paint would stick to it better.
Oh. Indeed, very educational.
Although it was
enjoying your wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah, we had this thing at work where it's like, this was more of a problem when I was part-time. It was like, if I got all the work done, then I'd either be rewarded with more work, or they'd run out of work and they'd have to cut my hours. It's like, why am I going to work hard if both of these things are bad for me?
Yeah, but you're full-time now, so they can't cut your hours, right?
Correct. And because of how things have changed, so things seems to change every couple of years, how things are done. And with the current way, it seems like I don't have to do as much as I used to. But for whatever reason, because the area I work in is always on fire, everyone thinks I'm doing more work than I am.
Oh yeah.
I've got everything under control. But like literally from management to the people at the school districts, they all think I'm like busting my ass at all times. I'm not. I figured out how to do the job in an efficient way.
Yep. And if they get anybody in there to replace you, it's like they're just going to be swamped, aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could see everyone kind of like having a little bit of a breakdown because they wouldn't be like, how is he doing that?
Just take like a month vacation, come back and like, I want a raise.
That's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yep.
So we just got raises a few months ago.
Yep. That's one of the things I had to talk to had like lunch with my grandparents the other day. It's like, you should talk to your boss about getting a raise. It's like, that's not how that works anymore. I don't get to talk to somebody about making more money. I get to make this much more money at these intervals. Yeah. And it's very much like, well, what's the motivation for you to work then?
Welcome to the current year.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is. It's like, oh, I don't believe that. And like a waitress rolled by. It's like, yeah, no, that's how it is now. And they're like, oh, Oh, like that's terrible.
Yeah, why do you think the world is the way it is right now?
Yeah, why do you think like our generation doesn't have a work ethic? It's not because we
Yeah,
don't want to work. It's because we don't have a reason to fucking work.
well, there's a reason hustle culture online has become such a thing because it's one of the few times where working feels like it can get you something.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound very convenient to have everything on fire. Nah, it's fine. Everything it'll burn
it's
itself out.
fine. It's everything's fine.
It's always on fire. It's whatever.
Who needs
Have
to
you ever seen
own their home?
Haven't you ever seen that meme? Like, this is fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, it's that. It's that. No, but I mean, like, my manager, like the top manager, he spent a year, like, basically, like when I first started, I was only like I wasn't making that much, and then he got our part-time position moved up to a higher level, so it would so we can get paid more, and then I was there for a while in that, and then he, like, everyone knew that, like, we keep getting more and more work in our office, but the pay wasn't going up, so he spent a whole year, and he finally managed to get a pay raise for everyone who's full-time and all the part-timers as well. And I'm talking like a $4 raise, or like a $2 raise for the part-timers, and then another $2 if they're there for over a year.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and then for us, he got us like a good like $4 or $5 as well. Mind you, it would have been nice if I could have gotten that other raise during the part-timer time, but whatever.
Yeah, you're full time now. It's like you got you're getting the good money.
I know, but at the time it was like I was part-timer for like 4 years, so that would have been nice. Plus, none of it counted towards like 4 years. None of it counted towards like retirement type stuff. So it's like that's disappointing. Like my mom worked for the place for like 20 years and then just retired.
Oh, she actually got a pension at 20?
20 years, yeah.
Shit.
And she actually dropped out. Like she actually retired right before COVID happened. So lucky her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, also, if everything's on fire, you know what the situation is. You don't have to worry about it because you know it's all burning.
Yeah, I know it's all a lost cause. The best part is, I can say those things out loud and nobody, it's just like, so sometimes I'll hear my manager talking because of where my desk is at, and I will actively yell something stupid across the room for everyone to hear, and they all just laugh.
Yeah. No, it's like just live in the existentialism. Like, yeah, we're fucked, but life goes on.
The people we help depress us so much sometimes that I'll just say like the meanest thing about humanity with them, and my manager would just stare at me and be like, "Yeah, I suppose so."
Like you're not supposed to say that though.
I literally walk out. I will literally go. I was one of the other managers before the current one. I would walk out and say, "I'm gonna go set the school on fire," and he's like, "Well, don't get caught." You would have liked him. He was hardcore into Mech Assault. Like, it was his life.
Oh. I love the mecha genre, but the guys who get deep into it are a different breed.
Yeah. Well, he got the stress was too much for him, and he needed to like step down, so he switched positions essentially, and then just like 2 years ago, he got extraordinarily sick. It was like had to be out the whole year, and they finally had to replace him when he was gone for just too long.
Yep.
They tried to do everything they could. Like manager tried to do everything they could to keep his job, but it's just like we needed someone that in position,
Yeah, it's like we have to fill this.
I mean, we went like they literally let him stay on like the thing for like 2 years without actually coming to work.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, but he like
He must have like some fucking super cancer or something.
Yeah, he had something wrong with his blood.
That's government work, so he's probably still covered though.
I don't know. At this point, I don't know anymore. Which is a shame for him, because I know he had been there for like 6 or 7 years. Maybe even 10 years, actually, so, like, you know, he's halfway to being done. I'm the office pessimist. Our manager is extremely happy-go-lucky, like extremely happy-go-lucky.
Ugh.
So we're having this big meeting. He goes, I remember this one time. He goes, all right, so that's the plan, but we need some pessimism just in case it might not work. And they go like, Pix, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't. The way somebody described my personality to me back to me was, I'm an optimistic nihilist.
That's an interesting take.
Well, it's like I have like just the darkest, bleakest outlook on everything I do, but I'm eternally happy about it. It's like, everything's blowing up. We're all gonna die. You know, nukes will rain from the heavens. But man, the new tacos are good in the cafeteria.
That's hilarious.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like when everything's going to utter shit and chaos, I'm just like, I'm in my happy zone.
That's fair.
It's like when everything's going good, right, and nothing's wrong in the world, I get nervous. It's like, oh, when's the shoe gonna drop?
Oh, and you must have been happy the last couple of years then.
It's like COVID for me was just like, man, you guys are all fucking just losing your shit, aren't ya?
Yeah, kid, you thrived during it too.
Yeah, all of us, like nihilistic introverts is like, yeah, the pandemic was our time.
Pretty much. I still had to work during it, so it didn't mean much to me.
Oh, I was at Walmart during it. Walmart got kooky. Like
Walmart's
yeah, but they did not know what to do. It's like they were trying all these different things. It's just like you got shitty paid kids. It's like you're not getting away with any of this shit. All right, we got to be close here. Hydraulic pipe. All right, so these things on these wings are anti-grav. Oh, like that's the anti-grav boosters. So
I just did something wing wiring.
oh.
So I'm sitting here, I'm jumping up on this thing, and I'm literally using the Halo jump method. This is just what I do. I don't even know if it's working. Oh, found something else. Fuel wiring. sure I sprayed this a couple different times. Boom. What do I have left to clean? Wing wiring, elevators,
It's on the
and
tail.
fuel centers. Fuselage wire. One. Anti-grav stuff, where are you?
Underneath the wings.
Another wing wire clean. Like the wing wiring is so sensitive that even though I'm spraying it directly, it's like it's not even counting half the time.
Yep. Alright, what else we got here? It's useful lot sensor.
Alright, static wicks tail scoop. What the heck is a tail scoop?
No idea.
Were we able to get to like the very top of this, like on top of the wing? The back wing?
Yeah, it's a bit irritating, but you can do it.
Fuel sensors.
That's what I'm trying to fucking find right now.
Oh, found one of them. Alright. Static wicks.
And tail scoop, whatever the fuck that is.
That has to be over towards the found it. This little thing like right here. Alright, so static wick is all that's left. Whatever the heck that is.
I do not know.
So I have like the wide spray as I'm walking around just trying to see if I can't hit it.
See if you can just kind of like nick it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm gonna try to check this really quick. Okay, so it's like they're on the wings.
Part of me thought that they might be, like, because it says there's 2 of them. They're called aesthetic wicks, not static wick.
Yeah, like right next to the backside. Like the far end of the wings.
Oh, these little, like, metal tail things? I think I
Yep.
accidentally sprayed it with the metal cleaner and just got it all in one burst. By pure accident.
Yep. Oh, I'm not getting the
The thing,
completionist
yeah.
video.
Oh, there it goes. Just click start anyway. It just happens on its own.
Yep. Ooh, okay, that one took a while.
Yeah, it took a lot longer than I thought it would. Can I buy that last part for this thing? Yeah, the pro nozzle for spraying crap. I'm just curious what the next... Dang, we were like at 70%. It's not even at the 75. Jeez. What is the next one anyway? Alright. A giant frolic boat. Alright, well that will be our next one then. Next up.
Yep.
Alright, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Anyone you want to raid?
Well, let's see who the fuck's on right now even.
I don't know.
Oh, hey, you know what we can do? We can go raid Kane.
Is Kane is streaming? Okay, sure. Let's raid Kane.
Haven't done, like, that's a weird one.
Feel free to give Kane grief. I'm sure Kiku's probably in the background somewhere.
Yeah. We're doing crazy. All right, everybody. This is going to be
we'll
Agent and Picks.
Friday.
Yep.
For more of this.
I'll be back tomorrow with
night.
Mechabellum, but yeah, later.